Chapter 1473. Mu Qingya knew that her father hated those who flattered and bootlicker the most. As for this Lin Xian, just because of those few words of flattery, he was directly thrown into a small dark room by his father. However, Zhang Ting enjoyed it very much. After all, she was a woman. Of course, she was also a businesswoman. She didn't take these words seriously. Boy. Mu Hao put down his phone, and then looked at Lin Xian. Uncle, what can I do for you? Lin Xian looked at Mu Hao with a smile. Your tricks won't work in my Mu family. Mu Hao took a sip of tea and said lightly. Mu Qingya sighed in her heart. This money was wasted. No. If he couldn't do it, she shouldn't give him the money. Damn it. Mu Feifei looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful big eyes. Was this the fake brother-in-law that her sister found? Lin Xian said with a smile. I understand what uncle means, but do you think what I said is unreasonable? Mu Hao. When he heard Lin Xian's question, the cup in his hand trembled subconsciously. If he said it was reasonable, it meant that he agreed with what he said, which contradicted what he just said. If he said it was unreasonable, wouldn't it be saying that his wife was not as good as his daughter in front of his wife? Although she was his biological daughter, he could say anything as a husband, but he couldn't say that his wife was not as good as his daughter. Even if Zhang Ting knew it in her heart, he couldn't say it. What a sneaky boy. Mu Qingya was also stunned for a moment. It wasn't until she saw her father sitting there with an expression, as if her mother had asked him who he would save if she and her daughter fell into the water, that Mu Qingya realized the profound meaning of Lin Xian's words. He is a master. Mu Feifei originally thought that this was it. However, at this moment she changed her mind. But, it was over. So what if he was a master? He had already put his father in a difficult position. If he was unhappy, his father's impression of him would definitely worsen. At this time Lin Xian said, I'm sorry, uncle. I might have been a little nervous. I shouldn't have said so much. Obviously, he had solved the problem that he had created for Mu Hao at this time. Mu Hao let out a long sigh of relief. Well, it's normal to be nervous. But I heard from Qingya that you're the boss of a big company? The boss of your company is nervous, even when meeting his parents. You haven't been through enough training. Mu Hao said. It's over. Mu Qingya was a little desperate. Her father was already making things difficult for Lin Xian, which meant he was not qualified. Lin Xian said, Uncle, you're right. However, I think that even the head of state would be nervous when meeting the parents. It's like holding your daughter's hand for the first time, but not knowing how to say it. Zhang Ting stopped talking anyway, so she let them talk. Then she said, I'll go and prepare the meal. Feifei, come and help me. I understand, dear mother. Mu Feifei then walked over. Lin Xian looked at Mu Qingya with a smile and said, Qingya, you go and cook too. Mu Qingya certainly guessed what Lin Xian wanted to say to her father alone, but she was afraid that something would happen if she was not here. I'll accompany you. The kitchen is too crowded. But I just want to eat the food you cook. If I can eat the food cooked by you and Auntie, I'll be so happy. Isn't that right, uncle? Lin Xian looked at Mu Hao with a smile. Mu Hao's impression of Lin Xian was not very good. However, this kid did not seem to be simple. In fact, he was not nervous at all. In fact, he was very relaxed and he seemed to be very confident. Then he would like to see where this kid's confidence came from. Daughter, go and cook. Oh. Mu Qingya then walked away. Lin Xian sat next to Mu Hao with a smile, and then took out a cigarette. Uncle, here you go. Mu Hao saw the cigarette that Lin Xian took out, and swallowed a mouthful of saliva. However, he subconsciously looked at the kitchen with a nervous expression. Don't worry, uncle. When Auntie sees it, you can say that I forced it on you. I think Qingya's boyfriend is here as a guest. Auntie won't blame you for smoking. Even if she wants to blame someone, she will blame me. Lin Xian said with a smile. Mu Hao looked at the cigarette in Lin Xian's hand. He was not in good health, and the doctor strictly forbade him from smoking. Therefore, Zhang Ting was very strict and even threatened him. If she saw him smoking, she would go back to her mother's house. But he was dying of craving. Think about it. A man in his 40s who had been smoking for 20 years. If you asked him to quit smoking, he would rather die. Therefore, Lin Xian could guess how much he wanted to smoke. Mu Qingya had mentioned this to Lin Xian before. Even if she didn't mention it, Lin Xian could see it with his fingers. And he had just quit smoking a month ago. Of course, it was impossible for him to not smoke for a month. He had to find a chance to smoke secretly. However, this opportunity was not easy to find. The company didn't need him anymore. He was now at home watching TV, computer, phone and recuperating. Zhang Ting was watching him all day long. So now, there was a great opportunity in front of him. Lin Xian said that the ultimate purpose of meeting the parents was to satisfy the parents of the woman. Money, power, house and car were all material things. Even if all these were material things, the purpose was to satisfy the other party. Lin Xian didn't rely on these things because the Mu family didn't lack these things. Lin Xian relied on grasping the weakest point of each of them. Aren't you afraid of making your aunt unhappy? If your aunt is biased against you, I don't care. Mu Hao said. Uncle, don't worry. Aunt is only worried about your body. I have a way to cure you. Come on. Mu Hao took Lin Xian's cigarette, and then Lin Xian lit it for him. He took a breath comfortably. Boy, to be honest, I don't have a good impression of you. Mu Hao took another puff and said, but Qingya and I are true love. Are you sure you're not her fake boyfriend? Lin Xian shook his head. Of course not, we are true love. Don't I know my daughter? I've never heard of a boyfriend who suddenly popped out. Don't think I don't know where your confidence comes from. Your confidence comes from the fact that you're not her real boyfriend. You're not afraid of failure. Even if you fail, you'll only lose the money you didn't get. This is your confidence. Lin Xian was secretly shocked. Wow. As expected of an old fox. Lin Xian shook his head. That's not true. If you don't believe me, I can sleep with your daughter tonight. After all, I've already done that with her. Lin Xian scratched his head and said with a smile. What? Chapter 1474. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Mu Hao slammed the table angrily. What's going on? Zhang Ting shouted from the kitchen. Mu Hao quickly kicked the cigarette, but under the sofa. Nothing. Mu Hao replied. He only took 2 puffs of the cigarette, but he was already feeling so good. Boy, what did you just say? Lin Xian said. I said, your daughter and I have done what we should do. Impossible. I know my daughter the best. You want to touch her when you're not married? Dream on. Uncle, what era are we in now? No matter how cold your daughter is, it's the same in this era. That night, I took her out for dinner. She drank a little too much, so I took advantage of the situation and... What the F***ck? Mu Hao grabbed Lin Xian's collar. Hey uncle, don't be like this. It's really nothing. Lin Xian hurriedly said. Phew, Mu Hao took a deep breath and let go of Lin Xian. What evidence do you have? He wanted to be sure of this matter. If his daughter really had sex with him, with his daughter's character, she would definitely have fallen in love with this person. And she would have loved him so much that she would die for him. Your daughter has a birthmark on her left breast. Mu Hao. F***ck. Lin Xian asked Lin Xian in the car if she had a birthmark or mole on her body. Lin Xian said that if she told him, her parents would accept him as their son-in-law. Mu Qingya was desperate at that time, so she told Lin Xian. Boy, is this where your confidence comes from? Lin Xian shook his head. No, my confidence comes from the fact that I'm very outstanding. Oh. Mu Hao looked at Lin Xian. Tell me. Lin Xian said. Uncle, actually what I said is not true. I just want to ask you one thing. Do you want Auntie to be as beautiful as she was when she was 27 or 28 years old? Mu Hao. What do you want to say? I can do it, Lin Xian said temptingly. Which man wouldn't want to? Zhang Ting was already in her 40s. No matter how well she maintained herself, the traces of time had already climbed up her cheeks. To be able to give birth to such beautiful daughters, she was already very beautiful when she was young. Bullshit. It seems like you're not telling the truth. Mu Hao snorted coldly. His impression of Lin Xian was very bad. Lin Xian took out a face-preserving pill. Fortunately, Lin Xian's interspatial ring was still on him. There were still a lot of things inside the interspatial ring. Although Lin Xian didn't have any spirit energy to activate the spirit artifacts, there were still a lot of treasures inside. Uncle, I'm preparing to set up a company. The company will sell something that breaks the current technology. It can restore a woman's appearance to its most perfect state. Of course, the company will definitely not be able to develop such a level of skincare products. At most, it can restore a woman's appearance. But I can restore Auntie's appearance to that of a 27 or 28-year-old. Lin Xian. This was Lin Xian's second plan, to restore Zhang Ting's appearance to its most beautiful state. In this way, Zhang Ting was naturally very excited. As for Mu Hao, as Zhang Ting's husband, how could he not be excited? The most important thing now was to let them see the results. Lin Xian knew that they would definitely not believe it. This thing had already surpassed the knowledge of people on Earth. Get out of here after you're done eating, Mu Hao said angrily. Lin Xian. Uncle, I've already told Qingye that I'll sleep here tonight. Lin Xian knew that Mu Hao had a lot of opinions about him now, but it didn't matter. The more prejudice he had now, the bigger the contrast when he saw the truth. Don't even think about it. I'll make the decision. You and Qingye can stay here. Mu Hao stood up. Suddenly, he frowned and sat down with his hand on his heart. Uncle Mu also has congenital heart disease. Lin Xian asked. Qingye told you? Lin Xian. Uncle, give me your hand. Mu Hao ignored him. Lin Xian then pulled Mu Hao's hand over, and a silver needle appeared in his palm. Following which, Lin Xian pricked Mu Hao's hand directly. What are you doing? Mu Hao turned pale with fright. Uncle, don't move. This is the last needle. When Lin Xian pricked his hand with the last needle, Mu Hao's slightly painful heart instantly felt better. The moment Lin Xian pricked his hand with the last needle, he felt better. It was because of Lin Xian's acupuncture. Mu Hao revealed an incredulous expression. Moreover, this feeling of relaxation was something he hadn't felt in a long time. Previously, when his heart didn't hurt, he would still feel a sense of heaviness. That feeling was that he couldn't use any strength no matter what. Otherwise, he would feel that it might hurt. But now this feeling that he hadn't felt in a long time was that his heart didn't hurt even if he used any strength. That's right, this feeling was very real. He didn't think that it was because of his sudden improvement. It was really because of those few needles. It wasn't that Mu Hao hadn't seen Chinese medicine before, but it didn't have much effect. This kind of congenital heart disease was the most difficult to cure. But now Lin Xian pricked him with a few needles, and he actually felt a sense of relaxation that he had never felt before. How could he not be shocked? Kid, what are you doing? Medical skills. Lin Xian pulled out the needles from his hand. Mu Hao frowned. I've seen many old Chinese medicine doctors. How can your medical skills be better than theirs at such a young age? Lin Xian said with a smile. Chinese medicine is also divided into different levels. For example, those old Chinese medicine doctors are just ordinary old Chinese medicine doctors. They do no medicine, but what they know is only the surface of true medical skills. So what you said just now, Lin Xian nodded. So what I said just now is true. It's just that you haven't seen it before, so you don't believe me. That's normal. No. Mu Hao shook his head and looked at Lin Xian asking, Are you a martial artist? Lin Xian looked at him. Uncle, you know? Mu Hao nodded. I've seen it once, so I understand the existence of martial artists in this world. I've even seen so-called powerful martial artists to treat my illness. They can't do anything? Mu Hao nodded. They can only control it, not cure it completely. Lin Xian, I have a way. You do? It's not like I didn't feel it just now. Your body should feel very relaxed right now, right? Mu Hao nodded. I haven't cured it yet. It'll take some time to cure it, but I can definitely cure it. I can also cure your daughter's heart disease. Lin Xian said. Mu Hao trembled all over. Good. He looked at Lin Xian and nodded again and again. He originally thought that Lin Xian was a liar, and had a very bad impression of him. But now he knew that he wasn't a liar. He personally felt it, so his impression of Lin Xian improved again. But the thing that could make people look like they were in their late 20s. Was that true? In the kitchen. Qingya, to be honest, Mom is not satisfied with your boyfriend. Mu Feifei quickly said. Oh mother, it's not easy for sister to find a boyfriend. What's there to be dissatisfied with? Isn't it fine as long as it's a man? Chapter 1475. Zhang Ting really didn't think highly of Lin Xian. He looked ordinary and had a glib tongue. She didn't have a good impression of him. Huayu and his father will come over later. You should spend more time with them. Lin Xian will stay somewhere else. Zhang Ting said. Mom, Lin Xian is my boyfriend. Then break up. Zhang Ting said. No. And I don't like Huayu. Mu Qingya said. The Hua Group is one of the top 500 companies in the world. It's even more powerful than our Mu Group. That Huayu is also very outstanding and handsome. He's a good match for you. We've already agreed on this marriage with them. But who knew that you would suddenly have a boyfriend? Huayu is more capable than him. And the Hua Group is thousands of times more powerful than his company. He's a better choice for you. Let Lin Xian go home after dinner tonight. Zhang Ting didn't give her any face at all. Mother. Mu Feifei shook Zhang Ting's arm. Shut up. Don't talk nonsense. Cut the vegetables. Mu Feifei pouted and looked at Mu Qingya, indicating that she had no choice. Then Zhang Ting walked out with a frown. Did you smoke? She asked Mu Hao. Mu Hao quickly shook his head. No. Then Xian, did you smoke? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, auntie. Zhang Ting said unhappily. Don't smoke here in the future. Got it, auntie. Zhang Ting then walked into the kitchen. Wow. You're finished. Now that you smoke, it's impossible for Mother Empress to like you anymore. Mu Feifei walked over and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and looked at the beautiful girl. Go cut the vegetables. Mu Feifei? Wow. I'm being bullied. Mu Feifei went back to the kitchen aggrieved. Boy, I'll help you talk to your aunt. I don't care about anything else. If you can cure Qingya's heart disease, I'll definitely approve of you. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Uncle, don't worry. I'm her boyfriend. Of course I care about her. But does Uncle believe me? Mu Hao said. I know my own body best. Those few needles you gave me are something I've never seen before, be it Chinese medicine or Western medicine. I believe in you. Sure enough, the person who can pursue my precious daughter is definitely not simple. I was blind before. Your confidence is justified, but what? But I hope that if you get together with my daughter, you can treat her well. After all, I don't know what kind of person you are. Lin Xian nodded. Of course. Uncle, are you giving this to auntie? If you give it to her, she'll have a lot of opinions about you now. If it's as you said, that women love beauty by nature. This is something that no son-in-law can give her. She'll change her view of you. Also, Mu Hao said, maybe you think she's a little mean, but in fact, she's too considerate of Qingya. She knows that I'm not in good health, so she has to find a good family for Qingya. Only then can she rest assured. Lin Xian nodded. Don't worry, Uncle Mu. I know. Nice. He might be able to sleep in the same bed as beautiful little Qingya tonight. This mission made her fall in love with one of them. Wasn't it on the right track? At this moment, there was a knock on the door. I'm coming. Mu Feifei ran over and opened the door. Feifei, long time no see. A handsome man in a suit smiled at Mu Feifei. Yes, long time no see. Hello, Uncle Hua. Mu Feifei greeted him and walked away. Lin Xian frowned. Ha ha ha, Brother Mu, how are you recently? You should be much better. A middle-aged man walked over with a smile. He and Huayu frowned when they saw Lin Xian. Why is there a man here? Feifei, is this your boyfriend? Huayu asked in surprise. Lin Xian stood up with a smile and stretched out his hand. Hello, I'm Qingya's boyfriend. Huayu frowned and shook Lin Xian's hand with a smile. Zhang Ting and Mu Qingya also walked over. Haha, you're here. Wash your hands and come to the table. The dishes are ready. Thank you, Auntie. Auntie, this is the best facial mask I brought for you. The company just developed it, and there are only 100 sets in the world. The effect is very obvious. You'll look like you're 18 years old after using it. Huayu handed it over with a smile. Ha ha ha, thank you. Take a seat. They sat at the table and Lin Xian sat next to Mu Qingya. Mu Qingya was helpless. Qingya, I didn't hear you say you have a boyfriend. Hua Yu smiled at Mu Qingya, this beautiful woman. Before Mu Qingya could speak, Zhang Ting said, we just had a relationship. I brought him back to see. We just had a relationship. Hua Yu smiled in his heart. It didn't matter. My name is Hua Yu. Brother, where are you working? He didn't even ask for Lin Xian's name, which showed how arrogant he was. Anyway, no matter where he was, he couldn't beat him. Lin Xian smiled and said, I don't have a job at the moment. I'm preparing to start a business. Xian, didn't you say you have a company? Zhang Ting asked. Yes, I do. It's just a small company. Let's not talk about it. Hua Yu smiled and said, what are you going to do? Maybe I can help. Lin Xian smiled and said, you can't. Hua Yu narrowed his eyes. Mu Hao coughed dryly. This guy really didn't care about other people's feelings. But Zhang Ting was displeased. Mu Qingya kicked Lin Xian. Mu Feifei opened her small mouth. Wow. Did this sister pretend to be her boyfriend give up? Did he start to let himself go? Haha, I should be able to help, right? What industry do you plan to enter? The pharmaceutical industry or the beauty industry? That's just right. The Hua Corporation's main business is cosmetics, skincare products, and medicine. Many of the medicines we launched have received international acclaim. Some of them have even become the most widely used medicine today. How can you say that my company can't help you? Hua Yu smiled and said. Lin Xian took a bite and said, we're not on the same level. Oh. You mean you've just started and can't reach the level of the Hua Corporation? Lin Xian shook his head. I mean, your company's technology is not on the same level as mine. Naturally, it can't help much. Everyone. That's right. They were all dumbfounded. But Mu Hao was a little better. He didn't understand why Lin Xian was so stubborn. Why was Lin Xian so stubborn? Hua Yu's question was meant to humiliate Lin Xian and make him compare himself to him. Of course, Lin Xian was aware of this little trick. Why should he give face? Anyway, Lin Xian didn't like him. Ha ha ha. Hua Yu's father, Hua Tian, couldn't help but laugh. Brother Mu, this kid is really brave. But I've seen a lot of armchair strategists. It's easy to say. I said, your things can't be compared with mine. Lin Xian said again. Chapter 1476. The smell of gunpowder at the table instantly rose. When they heard that Lin Xian was Mu Qingya's boyfriend, the smell of gunpowder had already begun to brew. Now it was Lin Xian who started it. But if he didn't start it, the other party would. Lin Xian simply asked them to skip this part and started it himself. Lin Xian, right? I don't know where you get your confidence from. My Hua Group's pharmaceutical industry is ranked in the top 20 in the world. Are you the boss of one of the top 10 companies? Hua Tian said with a smile. Mu Qingya kicked Lin Xian under the table again. Lin Xian shook his head. No, but to be honest, in this aspect, even if you are the world's top pharmaceutical company, you can't compare with me. Ha ha ha. Hua Tian laughed. Brother Mu, this young man is interesting. Zhang Ting frowned. In Hua Yu's eyes, Lin Xian was a clown. He drank too much. Sorry, I'll send him back to rest. Mu Qingya hurriedly said. Hua Yu said with a smile. Don't worry, young Master Lin, right? What products do you have? Let us see. For example, can you cure cancer? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, my company will develop it by then. I will also develop drugs for AIDS. These two incurable diseases can be cured by taking the drugs directly. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, they laughed. Lin Xian was their source of joy. Where did this idiot come from? It was really funny. Enough. Zhang Ting let out a shout. To be honest, she was also embarrassed. After all, this Lin Xian was Mu Qingya's boyfriend now. Then Zhang Ting glared at Mu Qingya. Mu Qingya felt wronged. Brother, if you can't do it, let's go. I'll give you money, don't make trouble. Young Master Lin, your joke is really interesting. Lin Xian took a bite of the food and said lightly, who's joking with you? Lin Xian, eat more food. Zhang Ting looked at Lin Xian and said. Auntie, let me talk to him. I want to see what other shocking things young Master Lin can say. Hua Yu said with a smile. Zhang Ting shook her head. To be honest, it wasn't that Zhang Ting was deliberately targeting Lin Xian. No one would believe such words no matter where you went. Everyone would definitely think that you were bragging. If Mu Hao hadn't experienced Lin Xian's medical skills in advance, he would have angrily kicked Lin Xian out. This was very normal. No need, I'll send you back first, Mu Qingya said coldly as she looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled and said, Qingya, you're my girlfriend. You know whether I can do it or not, right? Mu Qingya's head hurt. I know. You can do it, alright? Mu Qingya sighed in her heart. Brother-in-law, you really drank too much. Go and rest first. Mu Feifei said. Lin Xian smiled, and then reached out his hand to take out the face-retaining pill. Let's not talk about other things first. Young Master Hua, how is your company's beauty industry? 13th in the world. Then can your company's skincare products, such as the mask you gave Auntie just now, really restore her to 18 years old? Lin Xian asked. No way. You believe such words? But it can definitely make the skin very good. I can guarantee that. Hua Yu said. Then I can. Lin Xian then handed the pill to Zhang Ting and said, Auntie, after you take this thing, the crow's feet, acne marks and other things on your face should disappear in a few minutes. Your skin can return to your 20s. Zhang Ting frowned. But Hua Yu was holding back his laughter in his heart. Let's not talk about the fact that there is definitely no such thing in this world. You actually said crow's feet and acne marks in front of her. Ha ha ha, what an idiot. Yes, Zhang Ting's face didn't look very good when she heard this. But of course, she wouldn't say it out loud. Her impression of Lin Xian was absolutely terrible. He liked to boast and talk big. How good could such a person be? She didn't know what was wrong with her daughter. Why did she like such a person? Zhang Ting pinched the face-retaining pill. Is this a medicine? Lin Xian said, kind of, but in my definition, it should be a skincare product. Auntie, you will know when you eat it. Mu Qingya frowned. What was this Lin Xian doing? Was he crazy? Why would he let his mother eat anything? Zhang Ting then ate it without hesitation. It must be fake. If it was useless, she could directly kick him out. She didn't have to be embarrassed to kick Lin Xian out. Mom. Mu Qingya and Mu Feifei showed worried expressions. Of course, Mu Qingya was worried. She didn't know Lin Xian at all. They had only met twice. Auntie, are you really going to eat it? Zhang Ting was not afraid. At most, it would be a little harmful. Could it be poisonous? Auntie, your face. Hua Yu showed a surprised expression, but he couldn't help laughing in his heart. At this moment, black water began to flow out of the pores on Zhang Ting's face. Zhang Ting touched it and was shocked. Then, she screamed and ran to the bathroom. Mother! Mu Feifei hurried to follow her. Boy, do you understand that this is murder? Hua Yu pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily. Mu Hao glanced at Lin Xian. He was very confident. Don't worry. What murder? Everyone is here. What are you worried about? Mu Hao said. Dad. Mu Qingya felt that she shouldn't stand on Lin Xian's side. She wanted to tell Lin Xian to go out. After eating it, black water flowed out of her face. It was too scary. Let's eat, Mu Hao said. Lin Xian then said, this is a normal phenomenon. It's just detoxification. Detoxification? Hua Yu sneered. In the bathroom, Zhang Ting's heart was beating fast. She even wondered if she was disfigured. She quickly washed her face and Mu Feifei handed her a towel. Zhang Ting wiped her face and then closed her eyes. Feifei, am I disfigured? Zhang Ting asked in fear. Mu Feifei glanced at her and then widened her beautiful eyes. To be honest, Zhang Ting was very beautiful. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had two beautiful daughters. But after all, she was in her 40s. Wrinkles, crow's feet, and some flaws on her face had appeared. If she didn't wear makeup, it would be obvious at a glance. At first glance, she was quite beautiful. But now Mu Feifei looked at her own skin and her mother's skin in the mirror. She was completely stunned. The wrinkles were gone. The crow's feet were gone. Even her skin was not inferior to hers. It was so delicate. Mother Empress for words. Zhang Ting's body trembled. Shocking to the eye? It's so delicate. Mu Feifei opened her small mouth. Oh my God. It turned out that that person wasn't lying. He was really powerful. He really didn't put the Hua group in his eyes. It was her. Everyone had misunderstood. What? Zhang Ting opened her eyes and then her beautiful eyes widened. This is my face? Chapter 1477. Zhang Ting looked at her face in the mirror. Fair, smooth, rosy, and lustrous. All around, the crow's feet were gone. She felt that her skin was not worse than her daughter's. Mother Empress, your skin, wow. It's so smooth. Mu Feifei touched it and was stunned. This is really my skin. Zhang Ting opened her mouth wide, revealing an expression of disbelief and surprise. Mother, the wrinkles and crow's feet are gone. Now when you go out with me and sister, others will really think that we are sisters. Damn, didn't you say that we are sisters when we go out? Zhang Ting rolled her eyes at her, and then stared at herself in the mirror. She really felt like she was dreaming. She could not even dream of such a thing. It was too magical. Hee, now we must be sisters. Wow. Mother, that Lin Xian isn't just spouting nonsense. He's telling the truth. Zhang Ting nodded and looked at herself in the mirror. I misunderstood him. With this ability, the Hua group definitely can't compare. With this ability, if this thing can be mass-produced, he can even sit in the position of the richest man. Zhang Ting muttered to herself. That's right. How much did women spend on countless cosmetics and skincare products? However, this thing could directly save the money on skincare products. A person in their 40s or 50s could have skin in their 20s or 30s. How exaggerated was that? If this thing were to spread, it would be a sensation among women all over the world. At first, I thought he was boasting. It turns out that it's true. Mother, he really has a lot of confidence. It comes from himself. He really doesn't care about the Hua group's things. Zhang Ting nodded. He conquered something that the whole world couldn't conquer. Then if the cancer and AIDS that he mentioned can also be cured, and if it can be cured by taking medicine, then Zhang Ting's body trembled slightly. Then he can definitely become the richest man in the world. No matter what, they looked at the truth. And now, Lin Xian had given them the truth. Moreover, no matter what he said, it sounded too far-fetched and impossible, so they felt that he was bragging. However, the truth was right in front of them. Even if he couldn't cure cancer and was bragging, these skincare products could actually make her wrinkles disappear. Her skin looked like it was in its late 20s. It was simply invincible. Hee, Mother Empress, then do you approve of sister's boyfriend? Mu Feifei said with a smile. But in his heart, he was already scheming. Well, in any case, he was just pretending to be his sister. If such a powerful person were to follow him, wow. Invincible. Should I seduce him? Nice. Yes, of course. Originally, I had a big problem with him because I thought that he talked without thinking. But now he really has the ability to do so. He might even bring a new face to the world. Moreover, he is Qingya's boyfriend. I misunderstood him. Of course I approve of him. Zhang Ting nodded. Moreover, as long as this person was ambitious, he could become the richest man in the world. Outside, Hua Yu looked at Lin Xian jokingly. Lin Xian was eating silently. Mu Qingya bit her lips and lowered her head. She wanted to tell her father everything. Brother Mu, is sister-in-law okay? Hua Tian asked at this time. She should be fine. Didn't Lin Xian say that it was detoxification? Hua Yu said. Uncle Mu, detoxification is not like this. It's too scary. Then he looked at Lin Xian and said, if anything happens, you will go to jail. At this time, Zhang Ting came over with Mu Feifei with a smile. Mom. Mu Qingya quickly stood up and turned to look. Then she was stunned. Mom. Zhang Ting smiled and said, Xiao Xian, ha, this thing is really amazing. Look at Auntie's skin. When she stands next to Feifei, they are like sisters. What? Hua Yu stood up with his eyes wide open and looked at Zhang Ting in disbelief. F***CK? Where are the wrinkles? Where are the crow's feet? F***CK? Mu Hao also glanced at her. F***CK? This wife is so beautiful. Isn't she in her 20s? Oh my god. Isn't this too happy? Suddenly, his wife in her 40s became 26 or 27 years old. Don't you think he is happy? Is his sex life dead? This Lin Xian, what he said is absolutely true. Mu Qingya's little mouth was wide open. Hee. She looked at this strange Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Lin Xian stood up with a smile. Ha ha ha, auntie, then you have to tell me who is the older sister and who is the younger sister. If you don't know, people will think that Fei Fei is the older sister. Ha ha ha. Zhang Ting's smile was simply too happy. It's Qingya's blessing to have a boyfriend like you. It's also our blessing. Zhang Ting said with a smile. No, it is my blessing to have a girlfriend like Qingya. Lin Xian said with a smile. Huayu. This, come sit, eat. Zhang Ting said with a smile. Huayu, you sit too. Gulp. Huayu swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Lin Xian sat down and said. So young Master Hua, I am not boasting. It is just that I am not interested in the things of your Hua group. Ha. Huayu's face turned ugly. Mu Qingya sat there in shock and looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Who is this person that I met on the way and thought is a gangster? He is so strange and mysterious. Humph. You said that you can develop a drug to cure cancer? Hua Tian snorted coldly. You don't believe me? Of course. Then let's wait and see. Please go back. Lin Xian said with a smile. Let's go. Hua Tian then walked away with Huayu. When they reached the door, both of them were stunned at the same time. Why? What the F***ck? Why are they leaving? What the F***ck? But they can't go back now. Father, what should we do now? If his thing is really useful, then our Hua group. Let's listen to his bragging. This kind of thing can never be mass-produced. But it has definitely broken the new face of the world's technology and technology. Sigh. Hua Tian sighed. Inside the room. Haha, Xiaoxian, come eat the braised pork. Zhang Ting was really satisfied with Lin Xian now. Thank you, auntie. Your cooking is really good. I made it, Mu Feifei said. It's just SOSO. Mu Feifei. Brother-in-law, don't be like this. Mu Feifei rolled her eyes. Xiaoxian, did you develop this thing? Zhang Ting asked. Chapter 1478. Zhang Ting and Mu Hao were both businessmen. They knew very well that if it could be mass-produced, the so-called richest man in the world would be at their fingertips. What was lacking in this world were necessities. Necessities were necessities such as eating, sleeping, and there were too many places to eat. However, if you could restore a woman's youthful appearance, couldn't you become the richest man in the world? For women, this was necessities. Even if they borrowed money, they would still do it. Moreover, the price could be very high. It could save a woman 10 years of money on skincare products and beauty salons. This added up to a huge sum of money. Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I developed it. Can it be mass-produced? The materials for this face-retaining pill were not difficult to find. Lin Xian knew that there were a lot of them on Earth, but it's impossible to mass-produce it. After all, auntie, you know how terrible the effect is. If this thing can be mass-produced, it will be a mess. That's true. Zhang Ting nodded. However, it can be diluted and the effect is very significant. It can make wrinkles and crow's feet disappear in a day or two. It's just that the skin won't become as smooth as that of a woman in her 20s. That's enough. Zhang Ting said in surprise. Yes, it can be mass-produced. This is also the industry I'm planning to enter next. Mu Qingya and Mu Feifei sat there. Anyway, the two sisters were stunned. Mu Feifei's idea was that this Lin Xian must not be allowed to run away. When she was old, if she still knew this Lin Xian, wouldn't it be wow? Mu Qingya was still doubting life. A person she met casually could change the face of this world. This? Good. This is good. Zhang Ting said excitedly. Xiaoxian, what about the cancer that you mentioned before? Lin Xian. No problem. When the time comes, I'll make this world think that cancer is just a small cold that can be cured with ordinary medicine. Everyone. They all had shocked expressions on their faces. But now, I lack something to start it, so I hope I can get your support. Mu Hao pondered for a moment. Are you referring to the purchase of materials, Research and development and publicity? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I won't open a company. I'll just use the Mu Group's name. Didn't Qingya say that her main business is cosmetics and luxury goods? When the thing for Auntie is developed, it will be directly sold by the Mu Group. As for the medicine, let the Mu Group add a medicine department in a short period of time. Is that okay? That's awesome. Mu Hao nodded. Lin Xian said that once this thing was developed and sold, he would become a billionaire in a short time. No, a trillionaire. Cancer. He could be cured by taking medicine? How exaggerated was that? But this thing of yours needs to pass an international drug safety test. Lin Xian nodded. It's a small matter. They were all shocked. Lin Xian, I happen to have an elder who has cancer. It's in the terminal stage. Can you, Lin Xian? Tomorrow. Mu Hao, great. If this works, it will be a great fortune for mankind and the whole world. Mu Hao was very excited. Moreover, with the Mu Group's name, the Mu Group would be known by the whole world. Qingya, give me a pen and a piece of paper. Okay. Mu Qingya threw it away in a daze. Lin Xian then wrote a lot of medicinal herbs on the paper. Uncle Mu, these are the ingredients. Buy as much as you can from all over the world. In addition, the Mu Group will start to gather a large number of elite employees and prepare for a big job. Mu Hao glanced at it. Can these be cured? Aren't you afraid that it will be leaked? I'll arrange it personally. It won't be leaked. Even if it is leaked, the whole world will only recognize us. Lin Xian said. Okay. I'll make the call now. Mu Hao then walked away. Xian, your uncle and Qingya both have. Before Zhang Ting could finish, Lin Xian said, I can cure it. So Auntie, let uncle smoke. This, Lin Xian smiled and said, Auntie, you still don't believe me? It's not that I don't believe you, but it's too shocking. It's a little. Lin Xian smiled and said, Then tomorrow, Auntie, come with me to visit Uncle Mu's elders. If I cure his cancer, Auntie, you should believe me, right? Of course. Lin Xian looked at the time and said, It's getting late. Auntie, where is Qingya's room? Mu Qingya. Qingya, go rest with Xian. You have to wake up early tomorrow morning. I'll send him. Send him what? It's raining nuclear missiles outside. Let's go to your room. Oh. Mu Qingya then looked at Lin Xian and took Lin Xian upstairs. Girl, you have to follow this standard when looking for a boyfriend in the future. Do you understand? Mu Feifei? Mother, do you want me to be single for the rest of my life? Mu Feifei pulled a long face. It's interesting. No wonder this Lin Xian looks ordinary, but he can win your sister's heart. He's really not simple. Zhang Ting sighed inwardly. Who are you? Mu Qingya asked as she walked upstairs. Lin Xian smiled and said, Your boyfriend. Everything you said is beyond the current technology of the Earth. Are you an alien? Lin Xian, sister, I'm from the Earth. Didn't your policewoman friend check it out? But you're dead. Mu Qingya looked at Lin Xian. Then who is standing in front of you? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. How old are you? Why are you still saying such childish things? Mu Qingya blushed. It's just incredible. Then she came to a room and opened the door. You can sleep here tonight. Lin Xian looked at her. I'll sleep with you. No. I've talked to your father. We've done what we should do. Now if we sleep in separate rooms, it's tantamount to a showdown. You. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth and pointed at Lin Xian. Well, I'm so outstanding. Uncle Mu will naturally believe me. Whoosh. She took a deep breath and opened the door of her room. You sleep on the bed, and I'll sleep on the sofa. There was an indoor sofa in her room. Lin Xian shrugged. The two sat there. Mu Qingya's beautiful eyes were looking at Lin Xian. This person she accidentally met was actually, You're so good. Why don't you have money to buy a phone? I don't believe it. There were too many inconceivable and suspicious points about this person. You're completely abnormal. You'll know when we get married. Lin Xian grinned. You wish. Go to bed early. Chapter 1479. Lin Xian didn't do anything excessive. Instead, he added Mu Qingya's WeChat. Feifei, what are you doing? Zhang Ting was holding 2 glasses of milk when she saw Mu Feifei eavesdropping at the door of Mu Qingya's room. Ah, mother. Mu Feifei hurriedly stood up. What are you eavesdropping on? It's fine if you're always fooling around, but why are you eavesdropping on your sister and Lin Xian? Mu Feifei stuck out her pink tongue. I just want to hear what my sister sounds like when she's having sex. Mu Feifei said with a smile. In fact, she didn't know why she came over to eavesdrop. She couldn't stay in the room, so she came over to eavesdrop for fun. Who knew that she couldn't hear anything? She could vaguely hear someone chatting inside. She had no choice. She was just curious what kind of man her sister could find to pretend to be her boyfriend. Even if it was a fake, it should be good, right? At first, she was so disappointed. She was in cahoots with Mu Qingya. She felt that she was doomed this time. Then Lin Xian's brilliant maneuvers won her over. She began to realize that this man was terrifyingly good. If he could really cure cancer or something like that, that would simply be too amazing. She was curious. She thought that she must get to know this person. Wow. It would be so exciting to take him out to play. You silly girl, you're making trouble. What are they doing? Zhang Ting asked. No, they seem to be chatting. Zhang Ting nodded and knocked on the door. Qingya Xian, I'm here to bring you a glass of milk. Are you still awake? No, auntie, come in. Click, Zhang Ting pushed the door open and walked in, followed by Mu Feifei. Wow. Brother-in-law, your figure is so good. Mu Feifei was stunned when she saw Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian was shirtless. Mu Qingya asked him to take a shower. No matter where he slept, she asked him to take a shower. This Lin Xian hadn't taken a shower since they met. He was still wearing the same clothes. Now that the weather was not cold, he often sweated. It was so smelly. She couldn't stand it. Then she was completely stunned. When Lin Xian took off his shirt, Mu Qingya saw that his body was not only perfect, but it also had abs and muscles. Lin Xian was neither fat nor thin, so his muscles were perfect. Mu Qingya blushed at the sight of his abs. That was not the most important thing. The most important thing was, why were there so many scars on his body? It was no longer obvious, but the scar did not look like a knife wound or a gunshot wound. Some scars looked frightening. She could imagine how frightening the body was when the scar was there. Who the hell is he? She could understand if it was a knife wound or a gunshot wound, but this wasn't the case. It was hard for her to imagine that a modern person could have so many scars on his body. However, this definitely proved that Lin Xian wasn't an ordinary person. Before he could ask anything, Zhang Ting came in. And why did Lin Xian have scars on his body? In fact, he could use the law of creation to erase them. However, it was because once when he had sex with Ling Ying and Han Chuxue, they said that it was very manly. Lin Xian thought that it was fine. Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, I exercise regularly. My figure is okay. Mu Feifei opened her small mouth. Wow. It was simply amazing. This figure, these muscles, these abs. Wait, there were so many scars. Xiao Xian, why are there so many scars on your body? Zhang Ting frowned when she saw this scene. Wasn't Lin Xian a businessman? Why were there so many scars on his body? And these scars didn't look like knife wounds or gunshot wounds. Oh, I joined an organization in the past. I trained there and carried out missions. These were all injuries from missions. It can't be some bad organization, right? I heard that there are some assassin organizations. Zhang Ting asked. Auntie, don't worry. I joined a formal secret organization to fight for the country. As for what it is, it's not convenient to expose it. I see. This is milk. You should rest early after drinking it. Got it, Auntie. Let's go. Zhang Ting patted Mu Feifei's head, who was in a daze. Oh. Mu Feifei looked at Lin Xian's body with nostalgia. Wow, wow, wow. She couldn't stand men like this the most. She had seen plenty of guys with abs and muscles. She would usually go to the gym and run around. However, the kind of body that she dreamed of was Lin Xian's, which was neither fat nor explosive. Then there was his bronze-colored skin. Most importantly, there were shallow scars all over his body that could only be seen on TV. Wow. She actually saw it. How magical. This Lin Xian felt so unusual. Organization? So it also meant that he was not simple. Could it be like in urban novels, where the king of soldiers returned to the city or something? Wow, wow, wow. I can't stand it. Brother-in-law, good night. Mu Feifei bowed to Lin Xian, and then blinked. Lin Xian saw her blinking and his heart skipped a beat. What did this sister-in-law mean? What did she want? Good night. The two of them then walked out. Girl, don't talk nonsense. This Lin Xian should not be simple. He may not only be a businessman. Your sister must have a special reason for liking him. He may have a lot of secrets. Don't talk nonsense. Zhang Ting said to her younger daughter. I know. Mother. Zhang Ting looked at her second daughter. Mother, do you mind if Feifei and sister are his girlfriends? Slap, ouch. Mu Feifei covered her butt. Girl, if you talk nonsense again, don't think about getting a cent of your pocket money. After saying that, Zhang Ting walked away. Don't ask sister for it. Zhao Feifei's beautiful eyes flashed with slyness. Her appearance was not worse than her sister's. Should she find a chance to seduce him? Wow. If she missed this opportunity, there would be no next one. The scars on your body. Mu Qingya still felt a little shocked when she saw it. Do you want to touch it? I'll let you touch it as much as you want after the shower. Lin Xian smirked. Get out. Her pretty face suddenly turned red. And then she pointed to the indoor bathroom and said, Take a shower. There are new towels in there. Wear clothes when you come out. Okay, honey. Honey, let's sleep in the same bed tonight. You wish. You sleep on the bed, and I'll sleep on the sofa. What if Auntie comes in when we fall asleep? I saw Auntie's eyes before she left. She was still skeptical about our relationship. Lin Xian laughed. Mu Qingya frowned. Chapter 1480. She didn't notice. She didn't know if Lin Xian was telling the truth. Lin Xian said, Hey, I'm so outstanding. Auntie must be wondering how you can match up to me. What if you're pretending? She probably had this suspicion from the beginning. She brought us milk to observe us. I guess she must have come in the middle of the night to see what's going on. If we sleep separately, then I'll lock the door. Doesn't Auntie have your room key? Mu Qingya. Damn it. Go take a shower. Lin Xian smiled and walked into the bathroom. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth and quickly put on a set of pajamas. She didn't feel safe wearing only one set of pajamas. Bastard. After taking a shower, Lin Xian walked out of the bathroom humming a tune. Click, he lit a cigarette happily. No smoking. You're my wife? Why do you care? Lin Xian rolled his eyes. Mu Qingya. She opened the window and Lin Xian looked at her beautiful figure. She was invincible. Time to sleep. Lin Xian took a deep puff and flicked the cigarette out. Then he happily crawled into her bed and slept on the spot where she had just been lying. Hey, it smells so good. Mu Qingya. Go to the other side. She was going crazy. A man was sleeping in her bed. Lin Xian smiled and went to the other side. Mu Qingya took a deep breath and turned off the light. She lay on her side with her back facing Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't go overboard. He couldn't go overboard because she didn't like him that much. When I met you, were you on a mission? Or should I say, am I your mission? Mu Qingya suddenly asked. She felt that everything was too coincidental. This Lin Xian wasn't simple. He couldn't be short of money. He must have approached her on purpose. Sister, what mission do you have that I would be interested in? Kidnapping you? Then why do I have to do this? Make money? I can make money. I told you before that I wanted you to invest 1 billion in a project, but you didn't agree. I had to talk to your father personally. I just want your body. Mu Qingya. Sleep. Lin Xian smiled and rubbed Mu Qingya's butt with his foot. Mu Qingya. Rub. She sat up abruptly. You. I'll hug you. Lin Xian smiled and stretched out his hand. Scram. Lin Xian shrugged and fell asleep as well. He was very sleepy. He didn't sleep well in prison. Moreover, he didn't have a realm now. He needed rest and sleep. Early the next morning, Mu Qingya opened her eyes and was dumbfounded. She was in Lin Xian's embrace, and she was using Lin Xian's arm as a pillow. Her beautiful eyes widened, and then she quickly sat up. She didn't know what to do and tidied up her messy hair. Lin Xian heard the noise and opened his eyes. He looked at Mu Qingya, whose hair was messed up. You look cold on the surface. Why are you sleeping like this at night? I was kicked to death by you, Lin Xian said sadly. Mu Qingya. The last person who said this to her was Mu Feifei. Since when did she like to kick the quilt when she slept? Mu Feifei used to sleep with her, but she kicked it away. Since then, Mu Feifei swore that she would never sleep with her again. Get up and have breakfast. I'm going to the company, Mu Qingya said lightly, and then walked into the bathroom. Hey, aren't you going to treat your illness today? Aren't you going? No matter whether I can be cured or not, I want to know the ending more. Besides, that's Dad's elder. I don't think I know him. It's meaningless to go. Also, a very important person will come to the company today. I need to talk to him. Talk my ass. Once my product is released, I'll make a fortune. That's your money, Mu Qingya said. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. What's mine is yours. Mu Qingya. I'm pretending. Lin Xian shrugged his shoulders. After breakfast, Mu Qingya went to the company. Zhang Ting, Mu Hao, Mu Feifei, and Lin Xian were there. Mu Feifei drove to the hospital. Lin Xian, are you okay? Mu Hao asked Lin Xian. It depends on how serious his illness is. The later stage is also different. If it has caused other damage, I may not be able to do much at present, Lin Xian said. I'm not sure. Let's go and have a look. Okay. Lin Xian nodded. Brother-in-law, why didn't my sister come? Did you have a fight with her last night? Mu Feifei sat beside Lin Xian, and her feet rubbed against Lin Xian intentionally or unintentionally. No, she said she had something to do at the company. Well, it can't be bad. You little girl, shut up. I know. At the First People's Hospital of Jiangnan City, Qin Yijuan came here with the chicken soup she made and some fruits. Her eyes were red. It seemed that she had been crying for a long time. Junjun. At the entrance of the hospital, a middle-aged man stood there with a dozen military guards, looking at Qin Yijuan in front of him. Where is Grandpa? Qin Yijuan asked. I'll take you there. Qin Yuan sighed. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Qin Yijuan's eyes were red. Your grandpa didn't want me to tell you. He asked me to lie to you that he went on a trip, Qin Yuan said. Qin Yijuan wiped her tears. Her parents were very busy. When she was a child, her grandparents raised her. Her grandmother passed away 2 years ago, and only her grandpa was left. She liked to accompany her grandpa the most. But she really didn't expect that her grandpa, who had always been healthy, would. Now your grandpa's health is very poor. I can only tell you otherwise. Qin Yuan shook his head. Qin Yijuan walked in quickly. Mu Qingya didn't know. Even Mu Feifei didn't know who her father was. Otherwise, Mu Qingya would definitely come. The Qin family and the Mu family had been friends for hundreds of years. The two girls had been very outstanding since they were young. They were friends, best friends, and also rivals. But in the end, they chose different paths. Mu Qingya inherited the business because of Mu Hao's health. Qin Yijuan fulfilled her dream and became a Jingcha who did evil for the people. She climbed up step by step. Without the help of any family, she got several merits in just over a year and sat in the position of the captain of the first detachment in Jiangnan City. Click. Qin Yijuan pushed open the door of the ward and looked at the thin old man lying on the bed. She couldn't recognize him anymore. Her tears gushed out in an instant. Grandpa! Qin Yijuan rushed over. Jun. Qin Zhengwo looked at his granddaughter with a kind smile on his face. I told you to smoke less. Why didn't you listen? Qin Yijuan cried loudly. Chapter 1481. Qin Zhengwo reached out and placed his hand on his precious granddaughter's back, patting her gently. Don't worry. Grandpa is fine. Qin Zhengwo let out a weak voice. Sob, sob, sob. Qin Yijuan didn't say anything because she couldn't speak at this time. Qin Yuan sighed. He was a man, but he couldn't do anything. He walked out and gently closed the door of the ward. Outside, a few doctors were waiting there. Mr. Qin. A man in his 30s who was wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses said as he adjusted his glasses. He was wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses. He was Qin Zhengwo's attending physician. Although he was young, he had very high attainments in this area. He had returned from overseas, and was also a famous returnee. Dr. Liu, how is my father's condition? Qin Yuan asked. Lu Jiming pushed up his glasses and sighed. The old man's condition is very bad. Roughly estimating he might only have less than 3 months left. Qin Yuan looked tired. He didn't have any expectations at all because no matter how hard he worked, this terminal illness couldn't be cured. However, he couldn't bear to see his father in pain every day. I'll have to trouble you during this period of time. Qin Yuan nodded and walked away, preparing to buy some food for his daughter. Lu Jiming watched him walk away. He pushed up his glasses and smiled. Then, he looked into the ward through the glass on the door. His gaze landed on Qin Yijuan, flickering with desire and greed. This woman was so beautiful that he couldn't believe it. Of course, he knew what kind of family the Qin family was. The older generation of the Qin family was a general, and one of the founding fathers of the country. Their status was very high. Originally, Old Master Qin was going to be sent to the military hospital, but he felt that it was the same anywhere, so he stayed in this hospital. However, the Qin family's huge foundation would fall into the hands of Qin Yijuan in the future, because she was the only daughter in the Qin family. If he could woo Qin Yijuan, he would have a meteoric rise in his career. Under normal circumstances, how could he get such a woman? However, he was now Old Master Qin's attending physician, and this Qin Yijuan loved her grandfather very much. Even if she knew that it was a terminal illness, she would probably become blind and lose her mind. At this time, as Old Master Qin's attending physician, he had 10,000 ways to ask Qin Yijuan out alone. After asking her out, he would come 2 more times and hint a few more times. Even if he couldn't save Old Master Qin, what was so difficult about dealing with a blind girl? As long as he slept with this Qin Yijuan, then in the future, the Qin family's huge foundation would be his. After a while, Qin Yijuan opened the door and walked out with red eyes. Miss Qin. Lu Jiming looked at Qin Yijuan. Qin Yijuan looked at him with a puzzled expression. I'm Old Master Qin's attending physician. Qin Yijuan then hurriedly said, Doctor, how is my grandfather now? I want to hear the truth. Lu Jiming sighed. Seeing this scene, Qin Yijuan frowned slightly. Old Master Qin's illness was discovered too late. When it was discovered, it had already spread to his entire body. Now, Miss Qin, you should understand Old Master Qin's situation in your heart. It might not even be 2 months. Qin Yijuan covered her mouth and almost burst into tears. I understand. Thank you. She seemed to have lost all her strength. Then she took out her phone and dialed a number. Chief, I'll take a few months of leave. After saying a few words, she hung up the phone. She couldn't do anything. All she could do was accompany her grandfather in his last moments. But, Lu Jiming adjusted his glasses. But what? Qin Yijuan hurriedly asked. I used to study in Country Am, and the research institute I was in was doing research in this area. After all, I was also an expert in this area. At that time, the research institute developed a medicine. Although it couldn't cure the old master's illness, it could remove half of his cancer cells. Although it would still spread in the future, it might give him more than half a year. Qin Yijuan's beautiful eyes lit up. Can it really? Lu Jiming nodded. It can. We've already done a few clinical trials. This was the beginning of his plan. For a girl full of guilt, longing, and filial piety, when she heard this kind of news, she would probably do anything to get it, right? Then why don't you use it? Qin Yijuan asked. It's not that I don't use it, it's that I can't use it. That's the result of my teacher's research and development. Without permission, it can't be used. Moreover, the research and development has already stopped. After all, it doesn't have a real healing effect, so there's actually not much reliance. As far as I know, there might only be one left in the research institute. I'll pay however much it is. It meant a lot to Qin Yijuan. Because she had been working during this period of time, she didn't have much time to accompany her grandfather. Then such a thing happened. She hoped to be able to accompany him more. This is actually not a matter of money. This matter isn't that easy. Lu Jiming began to show a troubled expression. Then what do you need? Qin Yijuan hurriedly asked. This matter is very important. It's not as easy as you think. There are many things that need to be done. I can only do my best. Why don't we go out for a meal after work tonight and have a good chat about this matter? Qin Yijuan hurriedly nodded. Okay, no problem. Doctor, I'll leave it to you. Miss Qin, please don't tell anyone about this matter, not even your father. If something goes wrong. I understand. Qin Yijuan nodded. Okay, then I'll pick Miss Qin up after work. Lu Jiming said. Okay, I'll have to trouble you, doctor. To Lu Jiming, when the time came, he would first go for a meal, and then give a small hint. Today was just a hint, and then they would have a meal together tomorrow. When the time came, he would make a call and find a friend to cooperate. He would say that this was absolutely impossible and make Qin Yijuan despair first, then, he would confess to her. At the same time, he would intentionally or unintentionally tell her that that person was his teacher. If the seriously ill person was his future father-in-law's father, he might help. Presumably, she would agree. As for the medicine, he did have it. It was developed by him. It could indeed allow people to live for a period of time, 2 or 3 months. However, it was also harmful, so it could not pass the examination of the General Administration of Medicine. But it was fine as long as others did not know. At this moment, Qin Yuan walked over with a few people. Lu Jiming looked over, and his eyes suddenly lit up. What day was it today? Why were there so many top-notch beauties one after another? Chapter 1482. Mu Hao, Zhang Ting, Lin Xian, and Mu Feifei followed Qin Yuan. The beautiful women Lu Jiming saw were Mu Feifei and Zhang Ting. However, he recognized them. They were from the Mu family. They often appeared on TV. Why are you here today? Qin Yuan asked. We came to see old Master Qin. How is he? Mu Hao said. Sigh. Qin Yuan shook his head. Mu Haoran glanced at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was whispering to his sister-in-law. No, to be precise, it was his sister-in-law whispering to Lin Xian. Don't worry, it will be fine. Mu Hao said. How can it be fine? The doctor said that it will be less than 3 months. Mu Haoran then said. Actually, I came here this time to bring a little magic doctor to treat old Master Qin. Huh. Qin Yuan frowned and looked at Mu Hao in confusion. This is Lin Xian, my son-in-law. Qin Yuan glanced at Lin Xian. He felt that this person was ordinary. Since he was the son-in-law of the Mu family, he should not be simple. Wait, what did he say? Treat? Hello, Uncle Qin. Lin Xian reached out his hand. Qin Yuan stared at Lin Xian, and then reached out to shake Lin Xian's hand. You said treat? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, I can go in and take a look. I should be able to treat old Master Qin. Qin Yuan was speechless. Little brother, you can't say such things. This is the late stage of cancer. It can't be cured. The whole world can't. Lin Xian said. I have a way. Qin Yuan was speechless. What? Qin Yuan looked at Mu Hao. I know it's hard for you to believe. Give it a try. There's still hope. He may be talking nonsense, but I can't accompany him here to fool around, right? Mu Hao said. Zhang Ting also said, Brother Mu, give it a try. Qin Yuan took a deep breath. He felt dizzy. What on earth was going on? Could it be that he was still dreaming? Then he looked at Lin Xian. All right. Lin Xian and the others then walked to the door of the ward. At the door, Lu Jiming and Qin Yijuan were still chatting. Sister Junjun. Mu Feifei shouted. Qin Yijuan looked at Mu Feifei and the others and nodded. Uncle Mu, Aunt Zhang. This girl, look at how badly she's crying. Zhang Ting sighed and handed over a tissue. It's nothing. I just feel a little guilty, Qin Yijuan said. She then saw Lin Xian and frowned. Why was he here? Why did he come with the Mu family? Lin Xian also saw the beautiful woman, Qin Yijuan. It can't be, right? What a coincidence. Old Master Qin was actually Qin Yijuan's grandfather? F***ck. Lin Xian, do you need any medical support? Qin Yuan asked Lin Xian. He didn't know anything about Lin Xian, but he believed that Mu Hao and his wife wouldn't come here to mess around. No matter how incredible it was, he was willing to believe in Mu Hao and his wife. They grew up together and were brothers. Later on, Qin Yuan inherited Qin Zhengwo's will and became a soldier that Qin Zhengwo liked. Mu Hao, on the other hand, continued to do business for generations. Lin Xian shook his head. No, I'll go in and try. Okay. Hey, what are you doing? Lu Jiming saw Lin Xian was about to push the door and said quickly. I'm going to treat the illness. Lin Xian said. Treat the illness? Who are you? Mr. Qin, who is he? You let him come here to treat the illness? It's already in the late stage. There's no cure. You're letting someone else try. It's simply killing him. Lu Jiming said quickly. Qin Yijuan was confused. What was going on? Qin Yuan frowned. I'm just going to try, Qin Yuan said. No, I'm old Master Qin's doctor. Please show me your doctor's certificate. Lu Jiming looked at Lin Xian and extended his hand. I don't have any certificate. I'm just going in to save someone. If your hospital can't save him, I can treat him, Lin Xian said calmly. Ha ha ha. Lu Jiming laughed out loud. Mr. Qin, are you sure? Isn't this a lunatic? What's going on? At this moment, a few old men walked over. Director, there's someone here who says he can treat old Master Qin. Lu Jiming pointed at Lin Xian and said. Nonsense. Who are you? This is nonsense. How can this kind of place allow someone like him to mess around? Chase him out. The surrounding doctors were furious. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. I say, whether I mess around or not has nothing to do with you, right? The patient's family has already agreed. What right do you have to disagree? Mr. Qin, you're ruining old Master Qin's life. This kid is only in his early 20s. Why do you believe him? The director looked at Qin Yuan and hurriedly said. Qin Yijuan understood now. This Lin Xian. He was here to treat her grandfather. Moreover, he could treat her grandfather? This was something she could deduce from the conversation she overheard. Lunatic. This lunatic. Crazy. However, why did her father think that he could? Qin Yijuan did not understand. Kid, you're not even a doctor. How dare you say such things? You're a lunatic. Lu Jiming pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily. I'm a doctor. I'm a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. It's just that I don't have a certificate. Nonsense. More and more doctors gathered around. Uncle Qin, what do you think? Lin Xian asked Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan took a deep breath. Go and try. Lin Xian nodded. Thank you for your trust, Uncle Qin. Then Lin Xian pushed open the door and walked in. Right, no one can enter without my permission. Bang, then Lin Xian closed the door. Mr. Qin, you're really muddle-headed. Lu Jiming gritted his teeth and said. F***ck. If someone messed around and hastened the old master's death, then his medicine might be useless. How was Qin Yijuan going to play then? I'll take responsibility for this, Qin Yuan said calmly. Sigh, nonsense. You're really messing around. The director also sighed. Qin Yuan did not believe in Lin Xian. He believed in Mu Hao, who grew up with him. Dad, what's the matter? Qin Yijuan walked over and asked with a frown. Your Uncle Mu said that he can treat it. That's not necessarily true. He only said that he can try. Humph. Lu Jiming snorted and said, Mr. Qin, he has the right to say that anyone in this world can try. Then what? Just give it a try? You're simply messing around. Qin Yuan said, I'll take responsibility. Sigh. Lu Jiming clenched his fists tightly. He only hoped that the person inside would not let anything happen to old Master Qin. Otherwise, he would not even be able to pursue Qin Yijuan. Despicable guy. Qin Yijuan frowned. He could treat it. Was he crazy? He did not even have the money to buy a phone. Chapter 1483. In the room, Lin Xian was performing acupuncture on old Master Qin. Of course, the people outside saw it too. Did you see that? He's performing acupuncture. Idiot, he's an idiot. Does he think that he can cure cancer with just a few needles of Chinese medicine? Lu Jiming said coldly with disdain. Everyone shook their heads when they saw that. Qin Yijuan frowned. Where did her father find him? Why did he trust him? Young man. Qin Zhengwo looked at Lin Xian and allowed Lin Xian to perform acupuncture. What's the matter, old Master Qin? You're Junjun's cough boyfriend. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Yes, she's the one who chased me. Good. Qin Zhengwo nodded with satisfaction. It's a pity. I won't be able to see you two get married. I won't be able to hold my grandson. Qin Zhengwo's eyes dimmed. Lin Xian smiled. Old Master Qin, you can still see such a small thing. I'm here to treat your illness. Haha, young man, you don't have to comfort me. Right, what's your name? Lin Xian. Not bad, then I might be able to give my granddaughter a name in advance. Qin Zhengwo's face was flushed red. Lin Xian smiled. Old Master Qin, take this pill. Qin Zhengwo paused and widened his eyes. Pill? You're talking about pills? Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and nodded. So old Master Qin knows about the world of martial artists? Qin Zhengwo nodded. Of course I know. Xiao Xian, you're a martial artist? Lin Xian nodded. You can say so. You must be. You even took out a pill. You can only be a martial artist. Qin Zhengwo looked at Lin Xian with approval. He took the pill and swallowed it. There was no hesitation. This pill was probably useless, but it could definitely help him hold on for a while. This was a medicinal pill. As soon as the pill entered his stomach, he instantly felt a warm current flowing through his entire body. The pain and heaviness in his body disappeared in an instant. Old Master Qin, you've recovered. Lin Xian replied. What? This pill of yours? Lin Xian nodded. Yes, my pill can cure your illness, old Master Qin. Qin Zhengwo. To be honest, if it was someone else, he wouldn't believe it. But if it was a martial artist, if it was a medicinal pill, he felt that he could believe it. After all, he knew that in this world, warriors were very powerful existences. He had also come into contact with warriors. He even had an old friend who was a warrior. He had also tried to seek help from his old friend. It was just that his old friend's exposure to this world was too small, so he couldn't find the so-called medicinal pill. Really? Qin Zhengwo was shocked and pleasantly surprised. Lin Xian nodded. Didn't old Master Qin feel that his body has recovered its strength? The pain should also be gone, right? Qin Zhengwo felt it and nodded. Then he directly took off the ventilator. Everyone outside was dumbfounded. Quick! Put it on! Quickly go in! Lu Jiming shouted loudly. He actually asked old Master Qin to take off the ventilator. This is nonsense. Nonsense. The dean couldn't help but slap his thigh. Quickly go in and ask old Master Qin to put on the ventilator. Stop right there. Qin Yuan shouted. Then Lu Jiming stopped in his tracks. Mr. Qin. Without his orders you can't go in. Qin Yuan said. Sigh. Lu Jiming sighed. Qin Zhengwo felt his body. It had been a long time since he felt so relaxed. This Lin Xian was definitely not simple. Wait, this Lin Xian at such a young age actually took it out. Wait. Xiao Xian, don't tell me you're from the Lin family? Lin Xian shook his head. No, you're not. Lin Xian knew what the Lin family Qin Zhengwo was talking about was. There were 4 top ancient martial arts families on Earth. Dongfeng Shui's Dongfeng family was one of them, and so was the Xianyuan family. Under these 4 top ancient martial arts families, there were 8 other ancient martial arts families, and the Lin family was one of them. Of course, this was only known to martial artists who had come into contact with ancient martial arts families. Ordinary people only knew that the so-called Lin group was actually an ancient martial arts family. Lin Xian didn't have much of a background. His parents had died in a car accident caused by the Xianyuan family. Therefore, Lin Xian and the Xianyuan family weren't done yet. He had to go to the Xianyuan family. However, before that, he had to increase his strength. If he wanted to do that, he could only do so by completing missions. Qin Zhengwo sat up tentatively. He discovered that there was really nothing wrong with his body. He was as relaxed as a normal person. He had really recovered. Ha ha ha, Xiao Xian, thank you, ha ha ha. Qin Zhengwo smiled and patted Lin Xian's shoulder. The people outside were stunned by this scene. Dad. Grandpa. Although Lin Xian hadn't allowed them to come in, they had no choice but to come in. Click, the door to the ward opened and they ran in. Father, you. Qin Yuan stared with wide eyes at Qin Zhengwo, whose complexion had already recovered. I'm fine now. This grandson-in-law of mine is really capable. Grandson-in-law? Qin Yuan noticed this name, but Qin Yijuan didn't care at all. She cried and ran over. Grandpa. I owe my good granddaughter. Qin Zhengwo smiled and patted Qin Yijuan's back. This? Lu Jiming, the director, and the other experts all stared with wide eyes. How could this be? How did he suddenly become so lively? Is this the final radiance of the setting sun? Old Master Qin, your illness. The director walked over. I'm fine now. Impossible. The director shook his head. That's impossible. This kid must have used some stimulant drug to make his body energize for a short period of time. This is extremely inadvisable. I said I'm fine now. Qin Zhengwo said again. Old Master Qin, we're doing this for your own good. Dad, go and have a checkup. Qin Yuan said. Grandpa, have a checkup. Qin Yijuan looked up with tears in her eyes. Okay. Whatever my granddaughter says. Qin Zhengwo said with a smile. Qin Yuan. His son really didn't have any face? Mu Hao felt that there was absolutely no problem. This Lin Xian was really too amazing. Qin Zhengwo was brought over for a checkup. Humph. If anything happens, you'll go to jail. Lu Jiming pointed at Lin Xian and said angrily. Xiao Xian, did my father just call you grandson-in-law? Qin Yuan asked. Qin Yijuan? Chapter 1484. When Lin Xian heard Qin Yuan's words, he couldn't help but sigh. Old Master Qin insisted that I be his grandson-in-law. If I refused, I was afraid that Old Master Qin would be sad. If I didn't, I would feel wronged. In the end, between myself and an old man, I chose to feel wronged. Qin Yijuan. Lin Xian, my grandfather? Qin Yijuan's beautiful eyes were still red. She looked at Lin Xian and asked. She didn't know. She didn't know anything. She had investigated Lin Xian, but she couldn't find anything useful. There were too many mysteries. She really didn't understand why her father would find this Lin Xian and let him treat her grandfather's terminal illness. However, the most unbelievable thing was that after Lin Xian went in, her grandfather even took the initiative to remove the ventilator. Moreover, his body seemed to be healthy again. This was something she couldn't understand at all. However, her grandfather's doctor said that he might have given her grandfather some stimulant drug. She didn't know, she didn't understand. She didn't know who to believe. One was someone her father brought, and the other was common knowledge that the whole world knew. She didn't know what to do. Our grandfather is fine. Lin Xian smiled and looked at Qin Yijuan. It was said that people's hearts were soft. That was for sure. This policewoman was very fierce, but in this situation, she still cried like a child. To be honest, Lin Xian still knew that she was indeed a kind girl. And she was very beautiful. Anyway, it wasn't a loss. Pfft, Lu Jiming sneered. Fine. When the test results are out, you can just wait to go to jail. It was impossible for him to believe that an old man with terminal cancer, who was already at the end of his life, could be cured by a few acupuncture needles in just 10 minutes. This was definitely not in line with science and modern technology. Unless this world was crazy. He really didn't understand. If this Qin Yijuan believed him, he could still understand. Why would this Qin family's patriarch, Qin Yuan, believe him? And the head of the Mu family also came. That person obviously used stimulants. If he used it, he could temporarily make old Master Qin look like he was fine, but the damage to his body would be doubled. Of course, he wouldn't dare to use it because he would definitely be found out. Lin Xian glanced at that person but did not speak. He was too lazy to speak. I'm going for a smoke. Lin Xian walked to the smoking area of the hospital. You guys keep an eye on him. He might want to escape. At this moment, Qin Yuan was a little flustered. Could it be that he smoked to escape? He wasn't sure. He believed in his brother, but what if his brother was also deceived? After all, to be honest, This matter was hard for anyone to accept and believe. Mu Hao nodded at Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan sighed and didn't care anymore. Hey. Qin Yijuan found Lin Xian and walked over after greeting him. Yo, does your Nai have a bruise? Lin Xian smiled and asked. Qin Yijuan. Bastard. She gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. But to her now, this was not important at the moment. Lin Xian, I don't know you well, but I want to hear the truth. My grandfather's illness. 10,000 words of truth won't be as convincing as a medical report, right? Lin Xian smiled and said. Qin Yijuan didn't speak. Qin Yijuan leaned against the window on the 5th floor and looked into the distance. Then she asked Lin Xian, who was beside her. What exactly is your fever? Sister, you're still asking? Qin Yijuan said. I found something very interesting. What? Lin Xian looked at her. Back then, the person who reported that someone fell to his death was actually a servant from the Xianyuan family. This is quite interesting. Did the Xianyuan family's servant report the case under the Xianyuan family's orders? Lin Xian pinched her butt. You. She gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. If this wasn't the hospital, and if her father wasn't nearby, she would really have hit him. This person, how could he be so daring? Wasn't he afraid of her identity? To put it simply, she was the captain of the criminal investigation team. To put it simply, she was from the family of the founding fathers of the country. He knew that. But Qin Yijuan found some information about Lin Xian. Plus, her grandfather did seem to be fine just now. This made her choose to believe that this Lin Xian had a way to save her grandfather. The Xianyuan family was one of the top families in the country. The current top earner was a member of the Xianyuan family. That was how exaggerated it was. And if the Xianyuan family wanted to kill Lin Xian back then, that meant that Lin Xian definitely had an extraordinary identity. Your Nai is still the most fun. Lin Xian grinned at her. Will my grandfather be fine? Qin Yijuan asked. Sister, won't we know when the medical report is out? Lin Xian touched his forehead. I want to hear it from you. Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful red eyes. He's already fine, Lin Xian said. Oh, Qin Yijuan, thank you. You believe it? I believe it for no reason. What if it's fake? Then I'll kill you even if I have to go to jail. Lin Xian. How do you know my father? Qin Yijuan took out a handkerchief to wipe her tears and asked. I don't know him. I just got to know him. Qin Yijuan was confused. Then why is my father willing to believe you? Maybe it's because I know Uncle Mu. Nonsense. You met Qingya and she already treated you like a kidnapper. How could you know Uncle Mu? Based on her understanding, this should be the effect of knowing someone for a long time. I'm not talking to you anymore. Either get on the bed or stop talking nonsense. Lin Xian then walked out. Where are you going? Either get on the bed or stop talking nonsense. Qin Yijuan frowned as she watched Lin Xian leave the hospital. Did he run away or what? She didn't know. Director, that kid ran away. A nurse ran to Lu Jiming and shouted. What? Lu Jiming shouted, then hurriedly said, Mr. Qin, is there anything to be suspicious about? Lu Jiming frowned. Didn't his daughter go over? How could he let him run away? At this moment, Qin Yijuan walked over. Miss Qin, I suggest that we arrest him directly, Lu Jiming said. Arrest him for what? Director, the medical report is out. The hospital director hurriedly said. What's the result? Another nurse took a look and said, the cancer cells are gone. His body functions are normal. Everyone. Chapter 1485. To be honest, it was really shocking. It wasn't just Qin Yijuan, even Qin Yuan's heart was pounding. However, when he heard the result, he was shocked and excited. How is that possible? How is that possible? Lu Jiming, the hospital's specialists, the director, and the deputy director all stared at the report with wide eyes. There's no mistake, right? No, we were also very surprised at first and specially did 2 checkups. The results were exactly the same. Director, old Master Qin's body was clearly so weak just now. What happened? Why is he fine? It's fine that the cancer cells are gone, But his other body functions have returned to normal, and he's very energetic, the nurse asked, puzzled. Gasp. The few of them gasped. Godly doctor, godly doctor. The director shouted in shock. Then he looked at Qin Yuan and said, Mr. Qin, I apologize for being blind. That young man just now. Do you know him? If it's possible, he can even change the entire world. If his treatment method can be spread, then millions of cancer patients will be cured. He knew too well how scary this matter was. The whole world would pay attention to it. He didn't expect that person to give him anything. If that person could be in their hospital in name, then... Qin Yuan smiled and shook his head. Qin Yijuan was completely stunned on the spot. I told you I'm fine now. Qin Zhengwo walked over. Grandpa. Qin Yijuan rushed over. Io, my good granddaughter. Qin Zhengwo smiled and hugged Qin Yijuan. Ooh. This time, Qin Yijuan cried because she was too emotional. Everyone knew that this was a terminal illness. But in a desperate situation, Lin Xian actually cured her grandfather. Don't cry. Grandpa is fine now, isn't he? Where's Xiaoxian? Qin Zhengwo glanced at him. I think he left. Qin Yuan said. Bastard. Qin Zhengwo scolded. You haven't thanked him. How could he leave? How do you contact him? Qin Yuan lowered his head and shook it. Trash. Yi. Qin Zhengwo pointed at Qin Yuan, trembling in anger. Dad Mu Hao knows him. Qin Yuan wiped his forehead and said quickly. How? You know Xiaoxian? Mu Hao nodded proudly. Yes, he's the son-in-law of the Mu family. Qin Zhengwo. Good. It's definitely a blessing for the Mu family to have such a son-in-law. Qin Zhengwo nodded and praised. That's also Qinya's luck. Mu Hao nodded. Indeed. Qin Yijuan felt that there was something fishy going on here. Oh right, Mu Qinya looking for a fake boyfriend, and she found Lin Xiaoxian? Qin's is real? No problem, Qin Zhengwo. Qin Zhengwo's Qin Zhengwo. Qin Yuan's Qin. T the Qin Zhengwo. T of course he knew that old Master Qin wanted to have a chat with Lin Xian. Then they walked away while chatting and laughing, leaving behind a group of stunned doctors. Qin Yijuan really felt that she had to get in touch with this Lin Xian. This Lin Xian was simply too mysterious. So strange, this person was full of mysteries. At this moment, Lin Xian arrived outside the Mu Group's building. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the huge Mu Group. It's really not small. Lin Xian sighed inwardly. Why did he come here? He came here to kiss his baby Qingya and check on the progress of the projects he was going to do. After all, Lin Xian's mission to earn 100 billion depended on this. Lin Xian had to finish it as soon as possible and reach the mysterious heaven realm. As long as he reached the mysterious heaven realm, he would have spiritual power. Then Lin Xian would be able to use laws and domains. These laws and domains might be very difficult for Earth's martial artists to master, so Lin Xian might be invincible. Lin Xian then walked over. Captain, this is today's lunch. At the entrance of the Mu Group, a young man in his early 20s wearing a security uniform ran over and handed a packed meal to a middle-aged man. I said to bring the meal over at 11 o'clock. What time is it now? It's already 11:20 o'clock. The security captain took the packed meal and scolded, then walked away. Crack, crack, crack. The man clenched his fists and wiped his eyes. Life was not easy. Not only did he have to pay for lunch every day, but he also had to be reprimanded like this. If it was in the past, he would have resigned long ago. But, although it was easy to find a job as a security guard, the benefits of working as a security guard in the Mu Group were really good. Other security guards normally earn 3,000 yuan a month, but the security guards in the Mu Group could earn 6,000 yuan a month. There was also the cafeteria. Other than the cafeteria, he had to swipe his card to order food, but it was not expensive. It only cost 8 or 10 yuan. There was also meat. He was reluctant to leave this job because after graduating from junior high school, what other job could he find? The salary at the construction site might be higher, but... Sigh. Zhang Yang sighed, then put on the security hat and stood there. Lin Xian walked over. Sorry, idle people are not allowed to enter. Zhang Yang stopped Lin Xian. Lin Xian glanced at him, then his eyes suddenly lit up. Zhang Yang. Zhang Yang was still holding back the tears of being beaten up by society. When he heard this, he paid special attention to Lin Xian. Lin Xian? His eyes widened, although they looked like 3 years later, but he recognized him. F*ck. Lin Xian. It's really you. Zhang Yang's eyes widened, and then he gave Lin Xian a bear hug. Lin Xian also did not expect to meet Zhang Yang here. When he came to Earth, he also wanted to find Zhang Yang, but he did not expect to meet him here. F*ck. Lin Xian, aren't you F*king dead? Zhang Yang let go of Lin Xian, and then touched Lin Xian's face. A few girls who had just entered the company passed by. When they saw this scene, they all shuddered. Pervert. They quickly ran in. F*ck. How could I be dead? Fake news, it's all fake news. Ha ha ha. As long as you're fine, then why didn't you F*king look for me? It's been 3 years, and you always found me to play a few games. I really thought you were dead. Zhang Yang laughed. Something came up. You, on the other hand, after 3 years, you've become a B** starred? Lin Xian smiled and looked at Zhang Yang. Sigh. Zhang Yang sighed helplessly. You know, I don't have much ability other than playing. I want to find a good job, but the salary is not high. Fortunately, this job is okay, the young master pays well. Let's go, I'll help you get a promotion and a raise. Let's not do this. Lin Xian laughed and hugged his shoulder. Chapter 1486. Zhang Yang was dumbfounded. Lin Xian helped him get a promotion and a raise? Brother, are you okay? Zhang Yang touched Lin Xian's forehead. He did not know what Lin Xian had been doing for the past 3 years, but he was sure that he was not in the Mu group. If he was not in the Mu group, he would not have gotten a promotion and a raise. Lin Xian took his hand away. What the F*ck? Let me ask you. Do you still want to do what you wanted to do in the past? Lin Xian smiled and looked at Zhang Yang. Lin Xian was really happy to see Zhang Yang. What I wanted to do in the past, you mean to be a boss? Zhang Yang smiled helplessly. Sigh. I was young when I was young. I thought I could be a boss no matter what, collecting money every day, playing everywhere, wandering everywhere. But when I stepped into society, sigh, I realized that it was a luxury to want to earn more. Lin Xian put his arm around his shoulder and smiled. Let's go, brother, fulfill your dream. You? Zhang Yang looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, don't tell me you've made a meteoric rise in the past 3 years? It doesn't look like it. Zhang Yang tidied up Lin Xian's clothes. What brand is this? Random brand? Do you trust me? F*ck. You're the person I trust the most other than my family. Especially after I stepped into society. I realized what kind of people I've been with in society. Zhang Yang sighed. Then let's go. Okay. Here. Zhang Yang handed Lin Xian a cigarette. The two smoked and walked inside with their arms around each other's shoulders. F*ck. Zhang Yang, what are you doing? Did you leave your post without permission? I'll deduct 600 yuan this month. The captain sat there eating and saw Zhang Yang walk past him. He stood up and pointed at Zhang Yang while cursing. F*ck. Zhang Yang gritted his teeth, but did not dare to say anything. Lin Xian glanced at him. Wang Ming walked over. Who are you? Do you have an appointment? You can't enter without an appointment. Lin Xian shook his head. No. No? Zhang Yang, what the F*ck are you looking at? Get back to your post. Ka. Zhang Yang clenched his fist tightly. Understood, Captain. Lin Xian looked up at the huge building in front of him and said, Wait, let me make a call. Make the call outside. Lin Xian walked back with Zhang Yang, and Lin Xian dialed Mu Qingya's number. Wife, why don't you come down and pick me up? I can't go in. Mu Qingya was stunned when she heard Lin Xian's words. Wife. Bastard. All right, I'll be right there. Zhang Yang looked at Lin Xian excitedly. F*ck. Lin Xian, you're married? Mother F*ker, you didn't even look for me when you got married. Zhang Yang punched Lin Xian's chest. Not yet. She's just my girlfriend. Lin Xian smiled. Oh, Then you must look for me when you get married. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Don't worry. So you're friends. Wang Ming walked over and smiled disdainfully. Who the hell was this Zhang Yang? That was to say, the friends around him were not worth shit at all. Looking for a girlfriend? It was simple. He probably had a female employee in the Mu group who was his girlfriend. Zhang Yang did not feel sad about the deduction of 600 yuan. Because he met Lin Xian. He thought it was good to spend 600 yuan to meet Lin Xian. Wang Ming smiled disdainfully and then walked away. He was too lazy to pay attention to this kind of trash. Lin Xian glanced at him and then asked Zhang Yang, "Is this the security captain?" Zhang Yang nodded. "How much is his monthly salary?" The security captain's monthly salary is 20,000 yuan. The Mu group has the best treatment in this regard. He's usually very fierce and deducts my salary when he has nothing to do. I'm the one who gives him lunch every day and he has never given me any money. But I have no choice. After all, I don't have a degree. It's not easy to find a job that pays 6,000 to 7,000 yuan a month. Zhang Yang sighed and looked at Lin Xian. What have you been doing for the past 3 years? I've been relying on women to survive. F***CK. Are you a prostitute? Lin Xian. F***CK off. Lin Xian smiled and rolled his eyes. Let's go and have a drink later. I still have work to do. Let's do it tonight. Lin Xian smiled. If I say you can, then you can. Zhang Yang scratched his head. At this time, a very beautiful girl in a white shirt, black business suit, and a tight skirt walked out of the building. Hey, that's the boss of our group. She's also a very famous beauty in Jiangnan City. She has pursuers all over the country. She's here today. Zhang Yang looked at Mu Qingyao from afar. Didn't she come out before? Zhang Yang shook his head. I saw her occasionally. But I only saw her driving by. I rarely saw her come out like this. Boss Mu. Wang Ming hurried over and bowed. Mu Qingyao came to Lin Xian and Zhang Yang, looking at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Honey, let me in. Lin Xian grinned at Mu Qingyao. Mu Qingyao. Hu Zhang Yang. Come with me. Mu Qingyao said. Wang Ming. Okay. Let's go. Lin Xian led the confused Zhang Yang into the room. Lin Xian smiled. She's my wife. Zhang Yang. What the F***CK? Lin Xian led Zhang Yang to Mu Qingyao and smiled. Qingyao, he's my friend. Mu Qingyao glanced at Zhang Yang. I remember you. You've been here for 2 years, right? Zhang Yang swallowed his saliva and nodded. Little Qingyao, when the time comes, let him keep an eye on my beauty project. Mu Qingyao nodded slightly and walked forward. It's up to you, Zhang Yang. Lin Xian looked at Zhang Yang with a smile and said, when the time comes, you will be the general manager. I will ask her to give you the shares. As for the security captain just now, you can do whatever you want. However, you cannot mess with the company's affairs. Zhang Yang swallowed his saliva. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry. It's not a big deal. What the F***CK? Lin Xian, you're so awesome. Zhang Yang was so excited. They walked into the building together. In the beautiful hall, Mu Qingyao sat there drinking coffee. President Mu. President Mu. Some passers-by saluted. Lin Xian led Zhang Yang to sit in front of her. President Mu. Mu Qingyao's assistant handed her some documents. Mu Qingyao took out a few sheets. Fill in this information. After filling it out, there's a general manager's office on the 25th floor. You can go there for the time being. I'll arrange a secretary for you. I'll hand over the rest of the work to you later. Zhang Yang. Zhang Yang looked at Lin Xian and said, Lin Xian, this is too big. I don't have the ability. I'll just be the security captain. I'm satisfied. Chapter 1487. Zhang Yang was really shocked. He had not seen Lin Xian for 3 years. How did he become such a powerful person when he came back? His previous dream had come true, while he himself was still a small security guard with no achievements. Lin Xian patted him on the shoulder and said, I believe in you. Zhang Yang looked at Lin Xian excitedly. Lin Xian, thank you. Otherwise, I really don't know what to do. In fact, there was another reason why he was reluctant to give up this job. His father had an accident at the construction site, and now he was the only pillar of the family. Go ahead. Let's have lunch and drink together later. Okay. Zhang Yang filled in the information and was then taken upstairs by Mu Qingya's beautiful assistant. The position of general manager is indeed a bit too high. He has no diploma, no experience, and knows nothing. Mu Qingya stirred the coffee and looked at Lin Xian. He's my brother. I know. That's why I agreed. After all, the project Lin Xian wanted to do was under the name of Mu Group. The money that could be made from this project was unimaginable. In fact, it was not a big deal to just pay him a salary. Don't worry about him. He's a good person. You know better than me in this regard. I haven't seen him for several years. Mu Qingya nodded. Many people were passing by and looking at them curiously. Hey, who's the person opposite President Mu? I don't know. He doesn't look special. But do you know? President Mu just went out to pick him up personally. Is he a business partner? No, he's not. President Mu didn't greet the top 500 companies in the past. He also waited in the office. Did you notice? President Mu's assistant just took the security guard upstairs. What's she doing? So I know. That man is President Mu's boyfriend. What? It's true. When I came in, I saw President Mu pick him up. I wanted to call her President Mu, but I suddenly heard the man call her his wife. I was stunned. Damn. Is this for real? It seems that this man may look ordinary, but he might not be that simple. Honey, do you want to have dinner with me tonight? Lin Xian reached out his hand with a smile and put it on Mu Qingya's slender hand on the table. F***CK, F***CK, F***CK. Look. There's nothing to be suspicious about now, my God. This man is not handsome. Why did Chairman Mu choose him? It's quite strange. Hey, what do you think the young master of the Lin family will do if he knows about this? The young master of the Lin family they were talking about was the young master of the Lin family, an ancient martial arts family. He was also Mu Qingya's #1 pursuer. Ordinary people might only know that the Lin family's business was ranked in the top 50 of the world's top 500, but those who were knowledgeable also knew that the Lin family was an hidden ancient martial arts family. What everyone saw was the superficial Lin family, but it was not the real Lin family. Mu Qingya was about to withdraw her hand unhappily. Xiao Qingya, if you pull your hand back and someone sees it, and if it reaches Uncle Mu's ears, Lin Xian smirked. You. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth and glared at Lin Xian. Ha. Mu Qingya pulled her hand back and stirred the coffee. There was nothing wrong with this, right? A batch of the materials you requested has arrived. The factory has also been vacated. I've also vacated the employees. They're all waiting. I've also spent several times the market salary to poach them over. They're just waiting for you. When can we start? Lin Xian said, tomorrow. Get everything ready today, and I'll go to the factory tomorrow. The formula won't be leaked, right? Mu Qingya looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Lin Xian said, don't worry, it's not that easy. Okay, is there anything else? Mu Qingya asked. Yes, I want to see my wife at work. Mu Qingya shook her head, got up and walked upstairs, and Lin Xian followed her happily. Then they came to Mu Qingya's office. There was nothing special about the office. It was very formal, except for the smell of her perfume. President Mu, the girl with big eyes who looked to be in her early 20s, greeted him. Is it ready? The assistant nodded. It's ready. The rest is up to President Mu. Also, as the new general manager, we need to hold a board meeting to announce it. The Mu family own more than 70% of the shares of the Mu Group. Therefore, the general manager was usually arranged by the board of directors, but because the Mu family owned too much of the shares, they could make the decision directly. No, just make an announcement in the company. I have other things to do now. You can leave now. Yes. She glanced at Lin Xian and walked out. Qingya, I'll be living in your house from now on. I hope you have a good room. Mu Qingya. She looked up at Lin Xian. I've talked to Uncle Mu. Anyway, I don't have a place to live now. Uncle Mu will let me live in your house and sleep with you. Mu Qingya. Damn it. Lin Xianyu. I didn't suggest it. I swear. Lin Xian raised his hand. Phew, Mu Qingya took a deep breath. What should she do? She found someone to pretend to be her boyfriend. And now they were living together? Living together was fine, but living in the same room? She was dumbfounded. By the way, I'll find a way to cure your heart disease and Uncle Mu's heart disease during this period of time. I can cure both of you. Mu Qingya was shocked. Have you done with the cancer treatment this morning? Lin Xian nodded. It's done. Mu Qingya still found it hard to accept. This was completely beyond her understanding. Thank you. How do you want to thank me? Don't you have to agree to be my girlfriend? Lin Xian asked with a smile. You can ask Fei Fei. She's playful and pretty. If she's interested in you, she's a good choice. Mu Qingya used her sister as a shield. She can't. She's not as good as you. Lin Xian walked over and put his hand on her leg. Mu Qingya's body suddenly trembled. Don't go too far. She quickly moved her leg to the side. Tut tut tut. Lin Xian lowered his head and looked at her. She was so beautiful. Lin Xian needed something to cure her heart disease. It happened that he didn't have it on Earth. However, Lin Xian might have to go through some ancient martial arts families to get it. At this moment, the beautiful assistant knocked on the door and walked in. President Lin is here. Mu Qingya frowned. Chapter 1488. Mr. Lin was Mu Qingya's #1 pursuer, the eldest son of the Lin family, Lin Tian. This Lin Tian should be considered as one of the most outstanding people on Earth. He had an impressive background, and was even a warrior from a top ancient martial arts family. For him, there was no woman who was not good enough for him, except for those who might be more powerful than the Lin family. Mu Qingya was very beautiful, especially her aura. She was in control of a billion-dollar corporation in her 20s, which was built by her. Before she took over the Mu family, the Mu family's assets were only 1 billion. This kind of woman was Lin Tian's favorite. Lin Tian. Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and looked over. It's okay. You can leave for a while. Mu Qingya looked at Lin Xian and said, Why should I leave? You are my wife. Why should I leave? The mouth of the pretty assistant beside her was wide open. No way. Is he really President Mu's boyfriend? Lin Tian's identity is not ordinary. I'll just send him away. Mu Qingya stood up. She ignored the way Lin Xian called her. Let's go together. Lin Xian put his arm around Mu Qingya's waist. The assistant next to her opened her mouth. Well, she had nothing to doubt. You. Mu Qingya gritted her teeth and tried to take Lin Xian's hand away. Even though he was holding her, his hand was still touching her. President Mu, I'll leave first. The assistant ran away with her head down. Let go of me. Mu Qingya was speechless. Say you can't get angry at this Lin Xian. You really want to slap him, no, not just once. But you can't bring yourself to do it. No, the Lin family is very powerful. I can send him away. If you show up, it will be a different matter. It may be dangerous. Lin Xian looked at her and said, What? Do you want to keep the fact that you have a boyfriend a secret? And then you can hook up with other rich men? Bascum. Mu Qingya. Firstly, we're not in a relationship. Secondly, it's none of your business whether I hook up with rich guys or not. Thirdly, I'm not a scumbag. Lin Xian stretched out his hand and said, First, you're my girlfriend. Since we're sleeping together, I'll sleep in your room every day. Second, Uncle Mu has already acknowledged me as his son-in-law. Third, you're a scumbag. Mu Qingya. Who? She took a deep breath. Lin Xian was infuriating her. Then don't cause trouble. He's very powerful and can easily destroy the Mu group. Mu Qingya said. You're talking about capital? Yes, and more than that. Lin Xian smiled and said, Then when my stuff goes on sale, do you think we can crush them in terms of capital, or do you think they can crush us? The former. Then what are you afraid of? That's your money. Mu Qingya said lightly. You're my wife. What's mine is yours. I'm not. Lin Xian sat on the chair and patted his leg. Sit down. Are you crazy? Hurry up. Lin Xian patted his leg again. Mu Qingya straightened her clothes, ignored Lin Xian and prepared to leave. At this moment, Lin Xian reached out his hand and pulled her onto his lap, hugging her tightly. Lin Xian, you. Zhou. I'm coming. Click. At this time, someone knocked on the office door and opened it. A man in a suit and holding a bouquet of expensive flowers walked over with Mu Qingya's assistant, chatting and laughing. Haha, you're right. Your CEO Mu's personality is indeed like that. So, I'm willing to spend more time and energy to pursue her. I'm willing to invest all my feelings, as long as she can feel my sincerity. Lin Tian hadn't finished speaking when his pupils suddenly constricted. A man was sitting on Mu Qingya's chair, and Mu Qingya was sitting on his lap. He couldn't see Mu Qingya's expression because Mu Qingya's back was to him, but he could see that the two were kissing. F***CKU. In that instant his mind exploded. Mu Qingya. This is Mu Qingya. You can say that she is ordinary, but she is not ordinary at all. Her appearance, her ability, even his father praised Mu Qingya's ability. Ever since her appearance at the press conference, she has become popular all over the country. She has countless admirers, and was even called the most beautiful CEO in history. Not to mention Lin Tian, even the other top families have admirers of her. So Lin Tian thought that he must get Mu Qingya as soon as possible. However, such a woman was actually kissing an unknown man in the office. If I came over later, would you guys be able to do something at the desk? But why? Mu Qingya was upset. Her first kiss was gone. It was gone. She pushed Lin Xian away and hurriedly got up from Lin Xian's lap. She straightened her messy hair and looked at Lin Tian with her beautiful eyes. Sorry, I forgot myself. Young Master Lin, please sit down. Mu Qingya was Mu Qingya after all. At least on the surface, she regained her composure in an instant. Lin Tian's expression was terrible, especially when he had a bouquet of flowers in his hand. Mu Qingya cursed Lin Xian 10,000 times in her heart. Ha ha ha. Lin Tian smiled and then sat down. Xiao Shui, pour me some tea. No need. President Mu, have you found a boyfriend? Lin Tian smiled and said. Yes, I have. Mu Qingya nodded. Ha ha, Lin Tian smiled. Then I'm really happy for President Mu. Then he looked at Lin Xian. Strange. He looked ordinary, wasn't handsome, and was wearing clothes of inferior brands that he had never seen before. Logically speaking, how could he pursue Mu Qingya? Damn it. Lin Tian stood up and walked to Lin Xian. He stretched out his hand and said, Hello, I'm Lin Tian. Lin Xian. Lin Xian shook his hand. Brother Lin Xian, you're really amazing. President Mu is the dream lover of many people. I didn't expect these people to lose to someone they don't even know. Lin Tian smiled and looked at Lin Xian. Not bad. Lin Xian lit a cigarette but didn't try to pass one to Lin Tian. But Lin Tian frowned. Why did the Lin Xian in front of him give him a familiar feeling? He couldn't remember, but he had this feeling. Lin Xian had some impression of this Lin Xian in front of him. He was a dog of the Xianyuan family, and had done a lot of things for the Xianyuan family. Moreover, Lin Xian had a grudge against this Lin family. This Lin family was not Lin Xian's family. Lin Xian's family was just an ordinary small family. Young Master Lin, why are you here? Mu Qingya asked indifferently. Chapter 1489. They all knew why Lin Tian was here. Haha, I'm just here to see Chairman Mu. Oh, then why did you bring flowers? Lin Xian asked with a smile. It's a gift for Chairman Mu, but it doesn't seem necessary now. He then threw the flowers directly into the trash can next to him. Mu Qingya frowned. Lin Xian was obviously provoking him on purpose. This was not good. Lin Xian laughed, then smoked a cigarette and said, Is there anything else, young Master Lin? If not, please go back. My wife and I still have things to do. With that, Lin Xian walked to Mu Qingya's side and took her hand. Mu Qingya. Ha ha ha, there's nothing else. Lin Tian smiled, then turned around and walked away. However, the moment he turned around, his eyes became extremely vicious. Why did you provoke him? Mu Qingya shook off Lin Xian's hand. She didn't need to provoke Lin Xian. She could have just sent Lin Tian away, but this Lin Xian was provoking Lin Tian. I'm not afraid of him. The Lin family is an ancient martial arts family. In addition to having extremely strong capital, the Lin family also has some very powerful martial artists. If he wants to do something, you can't stop him. Mu Qingyao frowned and looked at Lin Xian. How do you know I can't stop him? Good girl, you still want a kiss? You. Mu Qingyao pointed at Lin Xian angrily and finally shook off his hand helplessly. At this moment, Lin Tian arrived outside the Mu group. He took out his phone and made a call. Contact all the companies in Huaxia that you can and ask them to suppress the Mu group. I want the Mu group to go bankrupt in a week. Lin Tian's eyes were vicious. He couldn't do anything to the top 500 companies in the world. But in this big Huaxia, the Lin family's prestige and voice were still very high. Regardless of whether the other party was willing or not, at the very least, they would still give this face. Even if they didn't want to give it, they wouldn't dare to not give it. The operation between companies could be said to be difficult, but it could also be said to be simple. No matter how big a company was, it had to rely on the market and competition with its peers. Everything was related to the survival of a company. To put it simply, Mu Qingyao's company mainly focused on skincare and luxury products, and was quite famous in China. If it caused a certain impact to the reputation of the Mu Group. Or it could be said that all the major companies and groups had invested in various aspects to suppress the Mu Group. The simplest reason was that the Mu Group's partners had all stopped working with them, and their direct sales stores had all stopped working with them. And the Mu Group's online business platform had banned the Mu Group from being on the shelves. In this way, the Mu Group's goods could only be piled up. In just a few days, this huge company would face collapse. And the Lin family had the ability to do so. Even if it wasn't enough, he could still go to the Xianyuan family. This kind of small matter was very simple. Mu Qingya, you should know in your heart that you can only compromise. If you don't compromise, then you'll be doomed. You actually dared to have a boyfriend after being pursued by me. You even flirted with him when you knew that I was here. Then don't blame me. I'll turn this phoenix into a sparrow and make you beg me. Lin Tian's eyes were vicious. As for Lin Xian, he clenched his fists. Emph. You don't have to exist in this world anymore. Although this was a society ruled by law, for some special forces, no matter what you do, even if you blow up the Musher group and cause countless deaths and injuries, as long as you can't find out, as long as the people don't know, then what can't you do? It was just killing a person. That was a simple matter. A day passed just like that. Lin Xian and Zhang Yang had a drink, and then went back to the Mu family with Mu Qingya. In the Mu family, Qin Yijuan and her family were also here as guests. Ha, Lin Xian, I finally see you again. When Qin Zhangwo saw Lin Xian, he couldn't help but walk over with a smile and patted Lin Xian's shoulder. Old Master Qin, you're really strong now. Lin Xian said with a smile. Ha. Of course I'm strong now that my body has recovered. Mu Qingya was stunned for a moment. Grandpa Qin, what's wrong with your body? Mu Qingya asked hurriedly. Haha, Qingya lass, you're really lucky to have met such a good kid like Xiao Xian. He easily cured this old man's terminal cancer. Qin Zhengwo laughed. Mu Qingya. The person her father took Lin Xian to for treatment was old Master Qin? What? And Lin Xian really cured this person? She glanced at Lin Xian next to her. Qingya, it's not that I didn't tell you. I only found out today. Qin Yijuan walked over and held her hand. Mu Qingya nodded. It's good that you're fine. Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian. Today she went to work again. This time, she asked a friend of hers to investigate Lin Xian. This time, she found something special. Lin Xian once had a girlfriend. And this girlfriend turned out to be from the Dongfang family. As for who in the Dongfang family it was, she didn't know and couldn't find out. But it was unbelievable that he could have a relationship with the Dongfang family. Her grandfather was one of the founding fathers of the country, but at this level, the Qin family was not qualified to be mentioned in the same breath as the Dongfang family. Because families like the Dongfang family and the Xianyuan family might have existed for thousands of years and existed since ancient times. It was not an exaggeration to say that they created this country. So it was very shocking. Then was his death because of this reason? Was it really done by the Xianyuan family? It was unimaginable. But this person was definitely not an ordinary person. As for why he couldn't even afford a phone at that time, who knew? She had to get to know him more and find out who he was. Where's Fei? Mu Qingya asked. That girl has been fooling around outside all day long. Now no one knows where she has run off to. Zhang Ting put the dishes on the table and said. Then she saw Lin Xian and immediately beamed. Xian, sit down. Qingya, get Xian some water. Oh. Qin Yijuan glanced at Mu Qingya. Based on her understanding of Mu Qingya, the two of them were definitely pretending to be a couple. But she heard that they slept together. It was probably because they didn't have any other choice. Hey, I have something to tell you. Qin Yijuan elbowed Lin Xian. There was nothing to hide. Everyone heard and saw. What kind of shameful things could they have said? It was impossible. Lin Xian actually wanted to find her and see if he could use her channels to investigate Dongfang Shui's current situation. Even if it was the Dongfang family, the information should have been recorded in the files, right? Chapter 1490. Lin Xian and Qin Yijuan went out. Mu Feifei quietly lifted Mu Qingya's hand with her hand. Mu Qingya looked at Mu Feifei in confusion. Then Mu Feifei whispered in Mu Qingya's ear. Sister, you are going to be cheated on by your best friend. Mu Qingya. What are you thinking about all day long? She patted Mu Feifei's head. Mu Feifei covered her head and whispered. It's true. Okay, don't talk. Eat something. Mu Qingya stuffed Mu Feifei's mouth with something and looked out of the window inexplicably. In the yard outside, what? Lin Xian reached out with a smile and pinched Qin Yijuan's butt hard. Qin Yijuan. You. She subconsciously wanted to give Lin Xian a slap. How could this person be so bold? Was he crazy? Okay. Indeed, she owed him a huge favor. Even if he stripped her naked now, she couldn't do anything about it, nor could she sue him. Damn it. Damn it. Can you not be like this? Even if I do this, what can you do to me? Phew. She took a deep breath and looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. I've investigated you. And then I found that you are more or less related to the most powerful family, Dongfang and Xianyuan. Qin Yijuan said. Wow, you've investigated me in detail. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. You are definitely not an ordinary person. You couldn't afford 5,000 yuan not because you were poor. There must be other reasons. Can you tell me? Lin Xian shook his head. Not yet. Then when? When you're naked on my bed. Qin Yijuan. You are so lecherous. Take off Qingya's clothes. Qin Yijuan rolled her eyes. You have to take them off. Ha ha ha. How many men do you want to date? Qin Yijuan chuckled. Hey, do me a favor. Speak. Can you check on someone through your unit? Who? Dongfang Shui. Lin Xian. Qin Yijuan frowned. Could it be someone from the Dongfang family? Lin Xian nodded. I've checked. You had a girlfriend in the Dongfang family? She was Dongfang Shui? Why don't you go yourself then? I understand. Did something happen to you? And then you're wanted by that family, and you don't dare to go? Qin Yijuan suddenly realized. This made sense. In any case, Lin Xian was definitely related to such a top-notch family. As for what kind of relationship it wasn't important. Since he didn't want to go but asked her to investigate, it meant that he didn't dare to go. More or less. Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Strange. What kind of identity does this Dongfang Shui have that you're wanted by them? I'll help you investigate her current situation. Of course, the prerequisite is that she has traces of her life. For example, she's appeared in public before, or she's been online before. If she doesn't, then it won't be easy to investigate. Lin Xian nodded. Okay, when can you tell me? Tomorrow afternoon. Then I'll go to your place tomorrow afternoon. That's fine. Oh right, according to the records, you fell off a cliff and died 3 years ago. Was it done by one of those top-notch families? Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Why are you asking so many questions? I'll bang Qingya tonight, and I'll bang you tomorrow night. Bang your mother. Lin Xian. Qin Yijuan cursed and walked away. This Lin Xian was indeed not simple. Could it be that he was also from a top-notch family? No, the only powerful family was the Lin family, and he wasn't a member of the Lin family. Moreover, the records about his family were quite simple. Early the next morning, Lin Xian took a taxi and went to Qin Yijuan's place. Well, of course, he slept with his Qingya last night, but they didn't do anything. He just took advantage of her a little. Sister, sister. Bang. Mu Feifei kicked open the door of Mu Qingya's room. What are you doing? Mu Qingya had just changed and was about to go to the company. That Lin Xian, she pointed outside and said. He took a taxi to Qin Yijuan's place early in the morning. You were cheated on. Mu Qingya. I was pretending to be his girlfriend. How could I be cheated on? Mu Qingya shook her head helplessly. Oh, then who sucked on the strawberry on your neck? Mu Qingya. At first, Mu Feifei also thought that they were pretending, but later, she felt that something was wrong. I pinched it myself to make mom and dad believe me. Mu Qingya hurriedly said. That bastard Lin Xian sucked on the strawberry last night. That person was really lecherous. But that wasn't the point. The point was he not afraid of anything? The first thing he did was to pin her down and grope her. Oh. Mu Feifei looked at it. Something was wrong. This was obviously not a result of a pinch. If Lin Xian did something with Qin Yijuan, will you be angry? Why would I be angry? I have nothing to do with him. You slept together. That was an act. Okay, hypocritical woman. Mu Feifei muttered and ran away. You. Mu Qingya shook her head helplessly. Mu Feifei sat in the living room and was very annoyed. She didn't know why she was so annoyed. She just felt very uncomfortable. No, I have to go and see. Then she got up, picked up her small bag and slipped out. Where did Feifei go? Zhang Ting glanced at her. Mu Hao shook his head helplessly. This girl is funny, but she knows her limits. It's okay. On the other side, Qin Yijuan yawned and stirred her coffee as she sat in front of her computer. To be honest, it was really difficult to find information on a top family like that. She came over after dinner last night. She could find some information, but what she found might not be true. Later, she troubled the provincial police and connected to their system, but it was still useless. In the end, she used all kinds of connections and finally received information about the provincial police this morning. Then she connected to their system. Now she just started to look. F***CK? The first thing she looked into was none other than that Dongfang Shui. Lin Xian's ex-girlfriend was quite important. When she saw the photos, she finally understood why Lin Xian was so obsessed with Dongfang Shui. She was so beautiful. She thought she was also very beautiful, and Mu Qingya was also very beautiful, but she felt a little ashamed after seeing a few photos of Dongfang Shui. So beautiful. She took a sip of coffee and looked again. No way. Her beautiful eyes widened. This Dongfang Shui was the daughter of the Dongfang family? She was the only daughter of the head of the Dongfang family, and the only daughter of the head of the Dongfang family. This was a little scary. This Lin Xian and the only daughter of the head of the Dongfang family were in a relationship. Qin Yijuan sat in front of her computer in a daze. Chapter 1491. She felt that it was unbelievable. So this Lin Xian fell in love with the daughter of such a top family, but he didn't have any background. This caused the Dongfang family to definitely not agree, so Qin Yijuan sat there and pondered. To be honest, her guess made her feel that Lin Xian was actually a pitiful person, just like some plots in TV dramas. To be honest, she sympathized with him. But now that he was so perverted, was he pretending to be himself? No, he was really perverted. If he was a gentleman, he could pretend to be himself, but he definitely wouldn't touch her. But this person really touched you while chatting, so he was really perverted, so she didn't sympathize with him that much. And then Qin Yijuan realized that something was wrong. Why, has there been no trace of her activity for 3 years? Then Qin Yijuan carefully checked again. That's right, in 3 years, there was no trace of her activity, no record of her online shopping, no place where the public could see, and no registration information. She even checked some mobile games and the like, but there were no login records in 3 years. This feeling was as if she had evaporated from the world, exactly like Lin Xian. It was just that Lin Xian was listed as dead, but she was still listed as living a normal life. But was this normal? Not having any records for 3 years was already abnormal. Nothing could have happened to her. She was the daughter of the Dongfeng family, the only daughter. This really made her feel suspenseful and curious. Boss, where's all night? A few people came to work in the morning and saw that Qin Yijuan was still in her office. Go, go, go. Don't bother me. Hey, what do you think happened to our boss recently? Ever since that man was caught, I felt that something was wrong. That's right. Do you guys think that our boss is in a relationship with him? Come on, who would dare to be in a relationship with our boss? Lin Xian walked in. Hey, it's him. He's here to look for our boss? He even brought breakfast? Wow, looks like there's nothing to be suspicious about. No way? This is really... Lin Xian opened the door and entered Qin Yijuan's office. Little Junjun, have you found anything yet? Here, breakfast. Lin Xian placed the breakfast in front of her. Qin Yijuan got goosebumps from Lin Xian's yelling. She didn't stand on ceremony and opened her breakfast to eat the crepe. I found it. Take a look for yourself. Awesome. You can even find out about their family? Nonsense. How many people did I ask? In the end, I had to apply and connect to the government security system to find out. Qin Yijuan thought about how tired she was last night and felt unhappy. Lin Xian couldn't wait to look over. Qin Yijuan didn't disturb Lin Xian and sat aside to eat breakfast. Lin Xian frowned. 3 years without any trace of activity. He frowned and looked at Qin Yijuan. In theory, yes. Of course, it's just online shopping. There's no information on the internet, so it doesn't mean much. Qin Yijuan said. Then can you find out her current address? No, there's no trace of her activity, so how can we find out? She hasn't bought or rented a house, so she can only live with the Dongfeng family, at least on the surface. Qin Yijuan said. The Dongfeng family. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Right now, he couldn't go to the Dongfeng family because he hadn't reached the cultivation base yet. Earning money was the most important thing. He could at least go and take a look at the mystic heaven realm. Oh right, can you find out her current contact? Big brother, I only have her old contact, but it seems to have been deleted. If I can find her current contact, then I wouldn't have said that I couldn't find any trace of her for 3 years. Qin Yijuan said. What about her family? Her parents and such? Qin Yijuan said, I've checked. Her parents live a normal life. What's interesting is that they went to a concert a month ago. Can you find out? Qin Yijuan asked. You mean they might have taken Dongfeng Shui to a concert? Lin Xian nodded. It'll be difficult. There are so many people at a concert. It's hundreds of thousands. It'll be difficult to find 200 people to watch it together. Also, there aren't many camera positions that can capture their faces. Lin Xian sighed. Alright, I got it. Right, help me check on someone else. Xianyuan Qingtian. Isn't that the young master of the Xianyuan family? Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. Yes, find out what he's like now. Qin Yijuan then did a check. His life is very normal. He often leaves the Xianyuan family and appears in the city. Lin Xian glanced at it. He couldn't find anything. After all, no matter how powerful the system was, it couldn't find some things such as things related to the martial Dao. Thanks. Lin Xian said. Hey, you and Dongfeng Shui used to be boyfriend and girlfriend? Lin Xian nodded. She's the only daughter of the Dongfeng family. Who are you? Qin Yijuan looked at Lin Xian curiously. It's the same as what you found out. Lin Xian said. She's so beautiful, outstanding, and has a superior background. It's hard to find anyone in the country who can compare to her. Why would she like you? Lin Xian shrugged. Qingya is also beautiful and outstanding. Didn't she like me too? Really? TSK, Although I haven't confirmed my relationship with her, I can kiss her casually. Do you think? Qin Yijuan. Really? Do you think? Don't I kiss you casually now too? Lin Xian then leaned over and kissed her on the lips. Qin Yijuan. At that moment, her mind was completely blank. By the time she reacted, Lin Xian had already let go of her and ran out. Qin Yijuan. B asterisk starred. B asterisk starred. B asterisk starred. She went crazy in her office. She was infuriated. Her subordinates heard the commotion in her office and didn't dare to make a sound. Sigh, did she get cuckolded? I think she might have been dumped. That's right. Although she's super beautiful, she probably doesn't like it. It's not surprising that she got dumped. Qin Yijuan appeared behind that person. Who did you say got dumped? Gulp, his entire body suddenly jumped. Head. Lin Xian walked down the street. I have to get the company up and running quickly. Once I earn 100 million, I'll be able to reach the mystic heaven realm. Although that might not be enough, I can at least try to visit the Dongfeng family. Also, this mission to make 2 girls like me shouldn't be too difficult. Chapter 1492. Mu Qingya arrived at the Mu Group. At this moment, the Mu Group was in a mess. Early this morning, before Mu Qingya went out, she received news that the Mu Group was in a bad situation, and she had to come over to take charge of the overall situation. Mu Qingya was a little puzzled at that time. Everything in the Mu Group was above standard. She held 70% of the shares. How bad could the situation be? When she arrived at the company, dozens or even hundreds of people were waiting for her. President Mu, I'm really sorry. Something happened to our company. We have to cancel the cooperation between us. President Mu, sigh, something happened to the company too. We have to take back the physical store in Jiangnan City. Please take away the goods in the physical store in 2 days. I'll pay you for the breach of contract. President Mu, there's really no other way. The market this year is too bad. My company is no longer qualified to cooperate with you. I can only terminate the cooperation. I'll pay you for the breach of contract. The dozens of entrepreneurs saw Mu Qingya coming in, and said one after another. Mu Qingya frowned. She was very smart. When she saw this scene and heard these people's words, she knew that it must be Lin Tian's doing. Got it. Go back. Mu Qingya said. President Mu, we'll pay you for the breach of contract. There's something wrong with the company and it may take some time. Please give us some time. Mu Qingya shook her head. No need. Go back. Thank you, President Mu. The breach of contract was not much. The cooperation before was a win-win situation. Now they would rather lose. Because if they did not do so, they would not be able to bear the consequences. President Mu. The little assistant bit her lip and stood beside Mu Qingya. Mu Qingya knew too well what the consequences of Lin Tian's move would be. The Mu Group would completely collapse. The current situation was that the Mu Group was worth hundreds of billions. But 80% of it was all the goods, contracts, and other things of the Mu Group. There was not much turnover. And now, all the goods were overstocked and could not be sold. At most, she could only sell them by setting up street stalls because no one would sell them to her. But how many people would believe her if she set up street stalls? With so many employees, the remaining cash flow could only fill this hole. Right now there were 2 ways for her. First, she could fight to the end. Second, she could directly stop and announce the collapse of the Mu Group. Then she would at least still be a millionaire or a billionaire. However, as long as she dragged on for another day, there would be no turning back. If she dragged on for another day, she might go from a billionaire to a million, or even penniless. Chairman Mu, I'm really sorry. I've found a better position. I'm sorry. A girl walked up to Mu Qingya, bowed and walked away. Chairman Mu, I've also found a better job. I'm really sorry. I hope that the Mu Group will get better and better. Chairman Mu, I'm leaving too. For a time, a large number of employees left. You. The assistant pointed at them angrily. When you were in the company, Chairman Mu took such good care of you. Now all of you are ingrates and ran away. You're really despicable. That's enough. Mu Qingya patted her shoulder and said, let them go. Zhang Yang ran down the stairs. Chairman Mu, what's going on? Mu Qingya shook her head, then sat down in the suddenly empty lobby and said, someone wants the Mu group to die. F***ck. Zhang Yang cursed angrily. Now 80% of the company's employees have left. Fortunately, the project I'm in charge of is still going on as usual and has not suffered any impact. However, it may take a few more days. Now that the Mu group is in such a state, it's difficult to support the project. On the other hand, there are still hundreds of millions of funds that have not been handed over. Zhang Yang said. Chairman Mu, what should we do now? Do we need to recruit new employees? Mu Qingya shook her head. It's useless. The physical stores have been closed, the online stores have been banned, the cooperation has stopped, and the employees have left. The Mu group can't go on anymore. Then, Xiao Yu bit her lips. Leave the rest to me. Xiao Yu, you'll be busy for the next 2 days. Hand over the goods from all over the country and put them in the warehouse. Yes, Chairman Mu. Mu Qingya looked at Zhang Yang and said, Zhang Yang, you don't have to keep an eye on the project for the time being. I'll give you dozens of contracts. You have to get all the liquidated damages and our rent back as soon as possible. The liquidated damages were not much, but if all of them were added up, it should be hundreds of millions. She now needed a large amount of funds to support the Mu group. Let the employees who were still there feel their hope and give them better treatment. Okay. Zhang Yang nodded. Mu Qingya raised her head, her beautiful eyes flashing. They want the Mu group to die. Then, the Mu group will be beyond their reach. Under normal circumstances, the Mu group would have fallen, but now 2 of the Mu group's projects were being carried out in secret. The Lin family blocked all the sales channels of the Mu group, because the Mu group's products were basically sold in physical stores and online stores. There was no other way. And it was only a little famous in China. But they certainly did not seal the warehouse and the factory. After all, they felt that it was useless to seal them. Moreover, the factory was the Mu group's own. The 2 of them ran away and prepared to get busy. Mu Qingya sat there and made a cup of coffee for herself. Lin Xian came in. Wow, so few people? Is it a holiday? Mu Qingya looked at Lin Xian with her beautiful eyes. No. She walked over and handed a cup of coffee to Lin Xian, and then told Lin Xian about the matter. That's it. Lin Xian was very calm. Mu Qingya said, yes, that's it. In fact, she was not in a panic. She did not panic at all when the employees left. After all, she had spent several times the salary to hire a group of people, and those people were not affected. The main thing was that she knew that as long as a large number of things were developed, it was only a matter of time before they could become the richest man in the country and the world. At that time, these companies, these employees, they would regret it. The Lin family. Mu Qingya knew what kind of existence the Lin family was, but she wanted to give all of this to the Lin family. The medicine to cure cancer was something that the ancient martial arts families on Earth could not afford. Now, the only things left on Earth were some cultivation methods. There were very few pills and things like that. Lin Xian asked, how's the progress? Chapter 1493. Mu Qingya said, I just asked Zhang Yang. Everything is on the right track and is starting to develop it. I want to ask, do we need to find a few patients to try it first? Lin Xian shook his head. No, as long as it's going according to the normal process. I'll go take a look. Don't worry. You go to the Food and Drug Administration in person and apply for the exclusive patent and drug qualification certificate with the drug. Okay. Not many people knew about the formula, and even if they knew, it would be fine. Now they were going to apply for the exclusive patent, and this drug would definitely pass the drug testing standards. Lin Xian went to the major factories to inspect. There were no big problems. Next, he just had to wait for them to make a comeback. 3 days later, Mu Feifei sniffed and sold her beloved car, feeling wronged. They didn't have any money left. In the past few days, the Mu group had been very, very bad. Now they could only borrow money and fill in the blanks everywhere. Fortunately, the Qin family had always been standing behind the Mu family, and the Qin family also knew what the Mu family was doing. Of course, they were willing to help the Mu family. The Qin family took out all their assets. Because the Qin family was not a professional business family, they only took out about 1 billion, but it was really enough to quench their thirst. The Mu Group hasn't declared bankruptcy yet? In a presidential suite of a 5-star hotel in Jiangnan City, Lin Tian was sitting there with 2 beautiful girls kneeling in front of him. He was drinking red wine and talking on the phone. It's been 3 days. The Mu Group has been dragging on like this for 3 days. The Mu family is probably going to sell their house. Oh, so it's the Qin family who stopped them from bleeding? Haha, so what? What's the point of wasting more than 1 billion? If they declare bankruptcy earlier, at least they will have tens of millions of assets left. Why bother? Lin Tian sneered. He put down his phone. The situation was very clear now. The Mu Group would be completely bankrupt, and they would even lose the opportunity to become a millionaire, or even a millionaire. They might even become an ordinary family. At that time, Mu Qingya would beg him, right? On the other side, Lin Xian and Mu Qingya were sitting in the office discussing something. Let's hold a press conference tomorrow, Lin Xian said. Okay, but I think we need to find a star to endorse it in advance. Celebrity? My Qingya wife is so beautiful. Can't you just endorse her? Mu Qingya rolled her eyes. What we need is fame. The star's promotion and press conference will be held at the same time. Another sum of money. It's worth it. Mu Qingya nodded. No problem. Leave this to me. You go and prepare for the press conference. You? Can you do it? F***CK. Isn't it just finding a celebrity? Not only that, but we also have to talk to the TV stations and advertising companies. They might be pressured into not cooperating with us. We also have to buy trending searches. There's no need to buy a trending search. I don't believe that after this news is released, he won't be the #1 trending search. Mu Qingya pondered for a moment. That's true. Don't worry. If you give me the drug certificate, I believe that no TV station will dare to go against the international company. They can't wait for this kind of advertisement to be broadcasted on their channel. They can't wait to broadcast it a few more times. Lin Xian smirked. You're right. Mu Qingya nodded. The press conference is simple. The country will personally take over. They will wait for us and personally host it for us. Mu Qingya said. To be honest, she was also a little flattered. The #1 leader actually met her in person yesterday. It couldn't be helped. This kind of thing had been a headache for the whole world for many years. Moreover, this kind of cancer was indeed a very common disease. There might be a way to treat it in the early and middle stages, but in the later stages, there was really no way. Basically, by the time it was discovered, it was already in the late stage. However, this drug could directly cure patients who had entered the late stage in just a few days and turn the terminal illness into a cold. Do you think that the leaders are important? They are very important. Even in terms of international prestige, it would be very exaggerated. They are important. Then what are we worried about? Lin Xian smirked. Lin Xian originally thought that the #1 leader was from the Xianyuan family. No, it wasn't. Now the #1 leader was from the Dongfang family. You mean? At this moment, Xiao Yu ran in. President Mu, someone is looking for you outside. Who is it? I think I often see it on TV. Then, 2 people walked in very quietly. Lin Xian glanced at them. He didn't know them. They shouldn't be from the Dongfang family. President Mu, nice to meet you. The man was about 50 years old. He couldn't be called an old man. His status was too high. It was the Vice President Zhou Jiuhe. Mr. Zhou? Oh, there's no need for that. I'm here in secret this time. Chairman Mu, just treat me as an ordinary business partner. Mu Qingya sat down nervously. Xiao Yu Porti. Zhou Jiuhe looked at Mu Qingya with a smile and said, President Mu, you are really young and promising. This terminal illness that has troubled the whole world for many years has been solved by your company. You even turned it into a common cold that can be cured with medicine. It is really a great fortune for mankind. Mr. Zhou. Mr. Zhou, the company that developed the drug is... Lin Xian quickly shook his head. Mu Qingyao then coughed dryly and said, we also hope to do something. Moreover, the Mu Group's current situation is not optimistic. We have to do this to avoid bankruptcy. Otherwise, we will definitely lower the price of this medicine by a lot. It's okay. I just came to see if the Mu Group needs any help. Just tell me. Mu Qingyao shook her head. It's nothing. Now it's just a matter of publicity. Don't worry about publicity. When do you plan to officially sell it? In a few days. Zhou Jiuhe said. Then I will go back and prepare now. We will invite celebrities to endorse it. We will show advertisements on all platforms and major TV stations. Don't worry, we will pay for this matter. For the country, what they gained was international prestige and the capital to negotiate with other countries. This was the most important thing. This is not good. There's nothing bad about it. You don't have to feel guilty about the country paying for it. If the country doesn't get any benefits, why would they pay for it? Zhou Jiuhe smiled and said, thank you, Mr. Zhou. Okay, then I will go back first. Then they walked away. Lin Xian, I have never. Lin Xian smiled and said, there will be more opportunities in the future. Now that the Mu Group is protected by the country, no one dares to touch it. Chapter 1494. A day later. The entire earth was in an uproar. Why? At first, they didn't think much of it because they had more or less seen the upcoming cancer treatment on TV, computers, and phones. What they saw was that 7 days after taking the medicine, regardless of whether it was in the early or late stages, the cancer cells would definitely be cured. What was there to think about? Wasn't this a scammer? There were too many scammers on the internet and even on TV programs, especially on a certain TV program. An old woman, an old man. But when they switched to other channels, they actually saw the same advertisement after a while. Then they actually saw advertisements on big channels like Hunan Satellite TV and Zhejiang Satellite TV. They felt that it couldn't be true, right? After all, the TV station behind Hunan Satellite TV really didn't dare to do anything. They wouldn't agree to release such a deceptive advertisement for the sake of making money. Unless this was true? At first, the young people also thought that it was all fake, but they realized that it was actually the most popular actress at the moment, the superstar Chu Xinxin, who was known as a man's dream lover, who endorsed it. They felt that it couldn't be true, right? Chu Xinxin didn't lack money. She wouldn't endorse fake things for money, let alone fake medicine. She might even go to jail. If something happened, the compensation would be enough to kill her. Moreover, it would have a huge impact on her reputation. Unless it was true? Then they saw all the big and small celebrities. They seemed to have a tacit understanding, and all of them reposted the advertisement on their WeChat moments in Weibo. Then China was in an uproar. After China was in an uproar, the other countries more or less received the news, but it wasn't spread as widely. Hey, have you heard? I heard that a new medicine is going to be released soon. It said that this medicine can treat cancer. You can cure cancer by taking the medicine. It only takes a few days. Do you think that's true? It can't be, right? It's true. Baidu, Weibo, and Sogu have always been the #1 trending topic. The trending topic has broken the record in history. All the big celebrities have reposted Weibo and used their various methods to promote it. The big celebrity Chu Xinxin is endorsing it, and all the channels can see this news. Even the F*King login to the game now will appear for a few seconds of this advertisement. This can't be fake, this is definitely true. This is great. After so long, a medicine that can treat cancer has finally appeared. But when will it be released? I think it's in the next 2 days. Didn't the advertisement mention it? Tomorrow, everyone can watch the live broadcast. You can watch the press conference on all the major channels. At the press conference, all the problems will be solved. F*CK. Then we must pay attention to it tomorrow. Young master, bad news. Lin Tian was playing golf at the golf course. Then he ran over alone, panting heavily. Shwa. Lin Tian sent the golf ball flying. He looked into the distance and said indifferently, "What's wrong?" "Mu group, it's the Mu group." Can the Mu group come back to life?" Lin Tian laughed mockingly. "It's not just resurrecting from the dead. It's even possible that it's going to rise completely, an unstoppable rise." "What did you say?" Lin Tian frowned. That person then took out his phone and handed it to Lin Tian. "Hey, you're saying that this is a drug developed by the Mu group? It's just a marketing tactic." Lin Tian sneered. "No, young master, this news has completely exploded. It's the #1 trending topic and has broken the highest record in history. All the major TV stations have news about it. Now when you turn on the live broadcast, open the game, and login page, you will see this news. Even big and small celebrities have reposted this news on Weibo. This can't be fake, right? Lin Tian? This?" Then he hurriedly took a look at the content of the advertisement. Regardless of whether the advertisement was real or fake, all the games, software, advertisements, and celebrity endorsements. This already showed that this couldn't be fake. Someone was behind this, and it couldn't be the Mu group. They didn't have the ability. Even the Lin family didn't have the ability. Even the Xianyuan family didn't have the ability. Perhaps they needed time to do it, but this Mu Qingya, the person behind this could be the country. The country wanted to protect the Mu group. He didn't dare to provoke it. Wasn't this the country protecting it? Wasn't this already obvious? Everything happened so quickly that it was too strange. It was as if you were in a QQ group, and you, the group leader, just mentioned everyone and told them something, and they immediately did it for you. It was as simple as that. But how could the reality be so simple? This involved hundreds and thousands of companies and involved real and fake negotiations, interests, and so on. However, they all seemed to have agreed unanimously. And during this period, there didn't seem to be any so-called understanding or negotiation process. What kind of person could make them willing to do it without much understanding? The country. They couldn't believe other things, but they would definitely believe in the country. No way, right? This Mu group. No wonder Mu Qingya didn't panic. But why didn't she take it out earlier? Could it be that it was developed at this time? "Young master, what should we do now?" Lin Tian clenched his fists. "What can we do? If it's true, then there's nothing we can do now. All of his efforts had been for naught. Think about it. With the protection of the country, wouldn't other companies fight to cooperate with the Mu group? They could recoup their previous losses in a short period of time." Coupled with this matter, even if the Mu group only had one drug, with the previous main project, it might take off and get out of hand. But, Lin Tian muttered, it's still impossible for the Mu family to rise to the top. After all, they only have one drug. Although this drug is enough to cause a sensation, there aren't that many cancer patients in the world. It's just that it's very common, and will continue to appear in the future. But if they want to rely on this drug, they will slowly stop with the passage of time. But the Mu group will definitely not fall. They are the only ones who have the formula, and have applied for an exclusive patent. Not to mention other things, the country will definitely protect the Mu family for this. Let's wait for the press conference tomorrow. If that's the case, it's actually very easy to crack it. The formula can always be found. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.